Three, two, one.
Alright, welcome to the BearNet. It's episode 62. We welcome you all tonight, and hopefully we'll have some good stuff in store for you. But unfortunately, not a whole lot coming out from PGI side from this last week. What do you think, Sans?
Yeah, it's more or less the same as the week before. We got a couple of things to talk about, but it's pretty sparse. Slim pickings, you might say.
Indeed. Well, alright, well, get things started off. Let's go ahead and get Sans ready up here. We'll get this rolling.
Sorry, I
And
literally just finished my,
it's fine, it's fine.
just
I am
Mech out.
Jeremy, otherwise known as Ghost.
Tyler, or Sans?
Hikage, or Julian.
And I'm on Mecho.
That's
In
right.
case you didn't notice, Alex isn't here. Because he's a
He is
dick.
not here at the moment. Who knows where he's at? He has not contacted us. And he's probably just out lollygagging and, you know, typical things that he does up there in
imagine
Ohio.
He might be working.
Lies, don't lie.
I don't think he does work.
I think that's a fabrication.
Mhm.
I see. Okay, so to start with, we will be. This doesn't count towards this event, but we'll go ahead and get our big topic change out of the way. The PGI has announced the Blood Money event, which starts tomorrow on the 25th at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time and ends on Monday, the 31st on Pacific Daylight Time. The event is a points racking event that earns you money. So every match that you play in Assault, Skirmish, or Conquest, group or solo queue, as long as you get a match score of 150, you qualify to get an extra 250,000 C-bills from the match, up to a maximum of 10 million C-bills per game mode. However, there is a grand total maximum of C-bills that is 20 million. So you can get the 10 million cap twice. The catch is that in order to qualify for this event, you must play a Resistance 1 variant with the R beside its name. So it has to be a Resistance variant that you got from a pack. So the
That's right.
Panther 10K, the Enforcer 5D, the Grasshopper 5J, or the Zeus 6S. Specifically the Resistance version of these mechs. And we will not be streaming while this happens for most of the week, except for Saturday. So we're going to go ahead and use these mechs now to kind of have some fun.
Right.
Hopefully
I mean,
not.
celebrate, give him a bit of a salute, etc., etc. And actually, Sans tonight is in the Grasshopper 5J, and I'm in the Zeus 6S. We'll see how they do. Can they keep up? I don't know.
The 5J is the bad Grasshopper, so we'll see.
The answer is no. And it would be BearNet. If something go wrong, my client crashed, so I'm just reconnecting now.
Reactor online.
Yay.
Sensors online.
I'm guessing
Great,
this
good start.
Weapons online.
event is supposed to line up. So we've got
All systems
this week
nominal.
will be sorry, tomorrow and ending next Monday will be the this event, and the next Tuesday they'll probably start a well, if previous times have been anything to go off of, probably a 7-day countdown to the Maulers coming out the week after that on September 8th. Whether or not that'll happen, we don't know yet, but probably a good thing to assume.
Yeah, I'm still looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, they had some, they've shown the Mauler a few times through their, Instagram account, and looks cool, I have to say. Actually, we've seen a lot of... Sorry, go ahead.
I would say a proper IS ballistic boat, but the Crab beat it to it.
Airstrike online.
Yeah,
I mean, the Mauler will have the advantage of having a higher mounted ballistics, and it may be a little faster than the Crab.
yeah, it's lighter, so it'll probably end up being faster. Just
Well, it
because of
depends on
that.
the engine cap. I don't recall right off the top of my head what the Mauler's engine cap was.
That's a good point. Yeah.
All right, they're coming to Fox 5.
Never seen that happen before.
Right?
I know, right?
But this is a completely different
Crazy.
map, guys. Why would it have the same choke point?
Target acquired.
Never seen these crazy
Yeah.
tactics before.
It's heresy.
It's sheer lunacy.
New target acquired.
Get India Direwolf just entering the water in Fox 4.
Airstrike online.
Yeah, time that's who I was shooting in the face. That explains a lot.
Airstrike online.
Oh, yeah, I really should have double checked who was on the other team.
Oh yeah,
Well,
this is going to be a rough match. Ah!
Yeah, I missed the load-in screen, so I didn't get to see who we knew.
To be
I
fair,
didn't
the
realize-
EPs are sort of sprinkled in between some other non-recognizable or CWIs, so
Airstrike online.
I just now noticed that he was in here.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Twinkie
I
and
can
Hein.
I only see a handful of good people on our team. We've got some QQ guys, and the only one I recognize out of them is J35. I don't recognize anyone else. So we're kind of like a bit underpowered here.
Left torso critical damage. Airstrike online. Left arm
Oh man, I just
destroyed.
lost all my weapons.
Right
Golf just fell
torso
down on our
critical
side of the Citadel.
damage.
It's DT on him.
Center torso critical damage. Medium.
And I'm down. Yeah, they really pushed around behind us. I didn't realize everyone was already shifting so far.
Airstrike online.
The only thing about this map is that don't really have the NASCAR on it to be effective.
Right?
There's plenty of cover right there in the city.
Airstrike activated. Fuel at 25%. Target acquired. Airstrike online.
The entire team is
New
dead.
target acquired. Heatsink destroyed.
Get him, Sans!
Left torso destroyed.
Fuck you!
Left arm destroyed.
Oh, it was Twinkie.
Right
I actually got to
torso
kill
critical
Twinkie before I
damage.
died. Awesome.
Large laser
Is your life
destroyed.
complete?
Medium
I'm pretty
laser
happy.
destroyed. Center torso. Right torso critical damage.
I think I did like 0 damage.
Acquired. Right torso destroyed. Right arm destroyed. Left
Oh, you couldn't quite do it.
Hey, but I think he's referring to the LBX-10s as being a dirty talk.
Yeah.
Meh. Rough start, but wouldn't be a typical BearNet night without it.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. At least for me, I think the Mauler is more recognizable than the King Crab.
Invite sent
From,
Hokage.
I don't know. I like the
yeah.
king crab. It makes me happy.
Crab is awesome. I heart the crab.
Yep. The only
No.
other thing of note, if you, I'm sorry, I kind of interrupted with a different topic.
Oh, and I was just gonna real quick say that I think the only mech we haven't even seen hide nor hair of is the Wolfhound so far, because we've seen the Crab and Mauler and Black Knight so far, and Wolfhound's sort of
I
going
feel
under the
like-
radar.
I feel like they're probably looking for a way to make it distinct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it is. Yeah.
There's a lot of mechs in that weight bracket that kind of do the same thing.
Yeah. So, see how it ends up. Yep.
I don't know. I think it'll be just fine. It'll fit in that same role that currently the Vindicator's taking up.
Except Wolfhound doesn't have jumps, right?
Yeah,
It's,
I meant that area of the game that's considered useless.
Oh, that's what you're going with. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Wolfhound has jump jets.
Yeah, I don't think so. Then it'd be Panther.
It's got different hard points in the Panther.
I agree, Scratum. It's impressive. A lot of the stuff they come out with.
Yeah,
They-
our
they
team
do good work.
Does a lot of good work.
Our teams, yeah. I think this is, yeah. I'd say 99%. This is my favorite MechWarrior game in terms of art.
Absolutely.
Now it's also the
Oh,
newest,
hands down.
but still
Reactor online.
impressive, really.
Sensors online. Weapons online.
Well, to be
All
fair, while it
systems
is the
nominal.
newest, they've been doing the design since like 2000 and when was the MechWarrior 5 trailer? 2003.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was, I think it was for, well, sooner than that.
It was somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So technically speaking, while this is the newest iteration of the game, it's been around for quite some time.
What
Don't- I think something else to keep in mind too about the art is that a lot of the art that was available from the books was done from people that really could not necessarily put it down on paper what the
up top.
author was trying to say.
Right.
You just dropped down. Yeah.
Well, let's not beat around the bush. The original art for BattleTech was
Online.
pretty
It
meh.
was pretty rough.
The only time it started to get, I'm trying to think of some of the artwork that I actually found to not be really bad,
Target
and
acquired.
there's not a whole lot. I think the Shadowcat original art is pretty
Well,
good.
no, that's the clan
New
wave. That
target
is not
acquired.
the
Yeah.
original BattleTech
Yeah, that's a
art.
good point. Well, I mean, some of the Clan Wave stuff does look like the original Cauldronborn looks eh. My opinion, at least. I don't know.
What is
I
the
like
Cauldron
I like
Born
all
on
that
which you
stuff.
speak?
Got even the clans called the Cauldronborn.
Yep, the only clan that really calls it the Ebon Jaguar is
Airstrike
clan,
activated.
Smoke Jaguar. Everyone else calls it the Cauldron.
What clan are you speaking of? I thought they got removed. You're gone.
Hashtag wrecked.
Hmm.
They are really spread out. We need to start taking advantage of that.
Yeah, I agree.
We've got a direwolf in third
You wanna
person
push him
over
in Echo 6?
Echo 6.
Kill the lone direwolf.
He's not alone. He's got.
I don't care if he
Withdraw.
has friends.
Oh, we've got
Oh no,
a bunch
the
of
one
trials
quick
in
draw's gonna
6.
save him. Freebie
Yeah.
kills.
Echo 6 is all new players, I think.
Oh my!
As bad as that,
There's a bunch over there,
I feel.
right in the Delta 5 area.
Yeah, Charlie's now all alone.
Right arm critical damage. New target acquired.
You got some guys in
Right
Delta
arm
5 that
destroyed.
they're
Are you
Is being
kidding?
Captured.
preventing the push.
Right torso critical damage.
I'm hedged to the base.
Warning incoming missile.
Need help on the left side.
Right torso destroyed. Left torso critical damage.
He's open CT Timberwolf Golf.
Base is being captured.
One shot.
New target
Yeah, looks like only one
acquired.
person's on the base. I'll be able to scare him off.
Good stuff.
Heat level critical.
I am
Center
so
torso
fucking dead.
critical damage.
I'm just about dead.
Base is being captured.
the
Warning
fuck are they?
incoming missile. Heat level critical.
Delta 5 Echo 5.
I have no idea how I survived that.
Base is being captured. Base 25% captured.
Thought you said you could drive that guy off, Majo.
He was hiding behind something. I've got him now.
Target acquired.
Uh-oh. Unfortunately, he's a small pulse cheetah, and I'm not equipped to take this guy out.
Handle that.
Man, we're just spread all over the fucking place. Both teams.
Target destroyed. Target.
I have no idea how I lived that long.
Target destroyed.
Shit. He's gone.
Yeah, I don't think I
Fuel
could have
at
squeezed much more out of it than that,
25%.
Scrannel.
Fuel at 0%.
Pretty much could have breathed on me, I would have fallen over.
Yes! Postmortem the guy with an actual physical round.
New target acquired. Right arm critical damage. Right torso artillery strike online.
Dragon, so
Left
stupid.
torso critical. Heat level airstrike.
Oh my god, I
online.
didn't realize we had zombie
Heat
suit
level
jobs.
critical.
Get him, Majo!
Yeah.
Ah, disappointment.
And I got 2 kills that were secured for me, but I got the king crab at least.
Well, still did respectable on damage, even though I felt like I took the brunt
Right.
of a full lance myself.
I swear, I love playing this map with the Shadow Cat.
Anyone who says the Zeus is not tanky hasn't
Knows not of what they
piloted.
speak.
It's seriously, this thing takes so much damage.
Oh, nothing, Jon Snow.
Alright, well, we even it up 1-1. Go ahead and update the score.
Always good.
No, I try to do my best.
Talking about the original Mech 5 trailer just had me thinking, has anyone gone through and, granted it's a different angle, but actually no, I think there is an angle in that trailer that's similar. How similar that Warhammer is to the reimagining from Gen Con? I wonder if there's been a comparison of that yet.
Hmm. Don't know yet. I don't think we have enough actual imagery of the Gen Con one.
Well, we've
Because
got
I
a
think
good,
we're just the one still, right?
yeah.
We don't have a full like 3D image of that model. So it's hard to do that comparison. Like I know what you're getting at.
Well, I mean, just from what we have, because we've got a full frontal of each one, I believe.
Well, for the Warhammer from an age and a day ago, we had the full rear view and top view.
No, there was actually a spot in that trailer if I'm remembering correctly, where it actually he's
Had the frontal as well.
yeah. Here, let me bring it up.
Yeah, I believe Majo is correct. I vaguely
Yeah, that wouldn't
remember seeing the
surprise
front
me.
of the mech.
Yeah, I think so too.
Got a hit.
So we have the full view of that particular mech. If it's technically different enough, then strictly speaking, they could have gone ahead and made that game. And there's nothing that could have been done about it. But
Here, I'm
Yeah.
trying to find that spot right now.
Yeah.
I think I might be remembering that full frontal in a different sort of light. Yeah.
there's
here we
just
go.
MS all over the place. What is this?
Oh look, we're fighting
So,
with
yeah, and that-
3-6.
Video right there at around 20 seconds, you get a spot, but it's not really.
Reactor online.
Oh, you can't really
Sensors
compare it.
online. Weapons
Um,
online.
Well, it's from the bottom
All
and
systems
a
nominal.
bit zoomed in, and I don't know, you could, but it just wouldn't be. It wasn't what I was thinking it was. You could still do it, but trying to find the one from Gen Con, but not seeing that after a real quick Google search. So I'll double check after this game.
Google food just not strong enough yet.
Well, to be fair, all I did was type in Warhammer and BattleTech to see if it would pop up there, but it did not.
Yeah, that's not going to be enough.
We should
That's
load
not
out
gas
on that
Google
sense.
food. 3 large lasers and 2 medium
Target
lasers.
acquired.
Not the heaviest damage, but it does fire a lot. Has very good heat management. No LRMs, fuck you! Ha!
Do we have any ECM over there? We've got one, so let me know if more missiles show up. I'll come back.
Airstrike online.
Got some guys pinned down Echo 3.
We got contacts in Echo 4 and Delta 4.
New target acquired.
Charlie crossing in the open. For Wolf. What is that?
And he's lagging hard.
New
Yeah, he
target
is.
acquired.
Look at that. friggin'
Yep.
view.
Both side torches on them, about to get taken off though.
Yeah, left is 1 or 2 shot, depending on what we've got.
They come across Caldera behind us.
I guess it's time to NASCAR.
Got Alpha Firestarter in the midst.
There's one right behind us. Echo Direwolf.
He's got a Shadow
New
Cat with him
target
too.
acquired.
Yeah, we've got
And Shadowcat's Pop Tart.
got a Hellbringer and Gargoyle coming
Executioner coming up behind us.
Excuse me.
Right
Yeah, that's an
arm
executioner.
Destroyed. Right torso critical damage.
He doesn't want to trade with me. I think my
Target
DPS is higher than
acquired.
his.
up. I saw the
Airstrike
grill arms in that. I just
activated.
assumed it was the Gargoyle.
That direwolf
Yeah,
tore
man.
me up.
That's too far away for that.
New target acquired.
Ah!
New target acquired.
Oh shit.
Warning.
Watch out, we
incoming
still got a Shadow
missile.
Cat on the left. It's not going to do much unless you.
Again, I've gotten torn up. Need more people poking onto center.
Left leg on Alpha.
Agreed.
Trying to
New
find a
target
piece of bridge I can
acquired.
use. Keep getting.
There's a Hellbringer Delta 3 in the open.
New target acquired. Heat level critical.
I like the fire started my AC.
Alright, Delta 3, and looks like something was in Echo 3 as well.
Oh, thank God they're trying to hit me with like BB guns.
Yeah, but when there's enough BB guns, it kind of hurts.
Yeah,
Right.
well, firing me with
Left
BB guns is
torso
not actually
critical
aiming at me.
damage. Right torso destroyed.
Hellbringer on the left side.
Center torso critical damage. Medium laser destroyed.
BT Fox. Gone.
Target
Delta
destroyed.
stripped. Oh, he's gone too.
Target
Right torso Gulf.
acquired. Target destroyed.
Oh, that's
This game.
bad guy.
That's it.
Again. Sucker's tanking like a boss. My loadout is probably one of the best that I found for this mech, this variant, which is
What you
the
got on it?
Gauss rifle, 3 mediums, and a large pulse in the center torso.
Okay.
It's
Kage,
mainly
were you
a
saying that
more of a poke mech really than anything else, but decent speed, standard engine, 70, a little over 75 kph, I think.
Yeah, that's what I've got on this Grasshopper as well.
So it's pretty stout.
Kage, were you saying we didn't have a full 3D model of the new Warhammer?
Yeah. I don't
That
think
is
we do
false.
anyway.
I just found one.
Awesome.
Here, there's that in TeamSpeak, and is it for... So obviously, I mean, this is just, again, the front of it, but... I mean, you'd have to have the back there, so...
That is a cool looking model.
And... 1 second, I just found... There's the back of it.
Perfect. So
And here's the front of that same model. So, got the front and back of the same thing. Yeah, that is a
Yeah, it does, Brandon.
good looking mech.
yes, it is. I like it. It's sexy.
MS Co. Is this like related to you guys, Sans? Is this like your company,
Never heard of him.
parent company, coming to reclaim their name?
Never heard of him.
You might be MS, but we are MS Company.
Well, only one of those two groups is MS.
Well, either that or their commanding officer. MSCO.
I stand by my original statement.
Well, you guys got to watch out there for that turbo ferret. I'm not sure if I'd want to see one of those. They're hyper enough without the turbo.
It's a locust, dude. That's what a turbo ferret is.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Or at least that's what I have powering my
Reactor
locust.
online. Sensors online.
Or it's an ice ferret
Weapons
with
online.
mask.
The turbo ferret
All
is actually what
systems
makes the
online.
gyroscope in the cockpit of the Mad Dog go around.
Right? It's actually a turbo ferret in there, just like railing on that thing.
It's like a hamster ball, except for, you know, your turbo ferret.
Right. Captain Fabulous. Did we run into him on Saturday?
Yeah, they could be. I haven't seen them before.
I have.
MSCO?
No, Captain
Looks
Fabulous.
like they're new.
Pretty sure we ran into him on Saturday. I would remember a name as fabulous as that one.
How about dog with
Target
rabbis?
acquired.
What?
He has the rabbis.
New target.
They're on
acquired.
FC.
Is
Looks
that
like a full lance is
Alpha?
trying to occupy that
Alpha's
area.
the same squirrel from before that was lagging really badly.
New
Is it
target
still like now?
acquired.
No.
Airstrike online.
At least not
Neat,
yet.
It's gonna be
Oh,
easier to shoot.
New target acquired.
he had a single jump there. That was a bit weird.
Got right torso on Delta.
Come on, Raven.
Oh, Bravo's in a bad spot.
Yeah, he is. He's got some buddies coming to help him. I don't know if
Move up,
it's a good
Sans, a
idea
little
on their part.
New target acquired.
Raven's coming right back around the corner. Oh, he's...
New target
Yep, there he goes.
acquired.
They've got a bunch of people coming over there.
Warning,
That's a firing
incoming
line.
Missile.
Oh, hey, I got one.
Warning, incoming
There goes the
missile.
awesome.
Airstrike online.
Yeah, he and I got into it.
There's still a collarbone up there
Warning,
that...
incoming missile. Right arm destroyed. Warning, incoming missile.
The hunch on Charlie.
Is there a UAV up?
Go CT.
Or am I narked?
Don't see a UAV. No. I think they have a spotter on the Delta Ridgeline. Maybe. Saw some fire coming from there, but it might have been Alpha here.
Motherfucker alphaed me in the back.
What a jackass.
Target acquired.
Well, he died for it.
Oh. Well,
Most of their team died for it.
New target acquired.
Either my accuracy is really trash, or I'm gonna have really good damage this game.
It's the lag wolf.
New
Get
target
it.
acquired.
Kill it with the
I think he's
anti-lag.
about to die.
yep,
New
got him.
target acquired.
2 targets left.
Fox is way off in the boonies.
Target destroyed.
Ah, damn.
Alright, where's the last
You
one?
killed the dog with rabbis.
Fuck's sake.
What? I'm sorry. Maybe that's an in-joke on my part.
I don't know. I found it funny.
It's funny, I just have no idea why you're saying it like that.
I'm trying to remember. That's
Target
actually a
acquired.
Lima!
from a circle of
Right
my
torso.
own actual circle of friends. I don't remember why we started calling it rabbis instead of rabies.
Well, to be fair, that yeah, I don't know.
Because Americans?
Mostly probably because it was funny sounding.
Because raisins, obviously.
Oh,
Target
obviously
destroyed.
raisins.
Raisins have returned.
Well, that was a boring drop for me.
I got down to like 25% ammo, so
So that's a win.
that's a win.
That was a win.
Accuracy shit. Alright.
Oh shit! I got called out as pro grasshopper.
Did you?
Yeah.
There's another grasshopper on our team. Could have been him.
Considering, I don't know if I agree with that.
What's up with my ping? That was a North American server, right?
I think so.
I didn't look actually. So-
I don't see where it says. 2 points of teen damage. Unacceptable.
Failure. Maybe we should kick him out of the group.
I don't think I can even do that little team damage if I hit somebody.
Just be very, very, very far away. So
No, it has to be North
just,
American.
just yesterday, it was confirmed by who was this? This was Paul. Yes, by Paul that CW scores affect your PSR,
Yeah, I heard about that.
but
Yeah.
they're not affected by it. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I
It's
think
just
that's
dumb.
a really stupid thing that they need to fix because it's going to artificially inflate your out of CW PSR score.
Agreed.
It's not affected by PSR. It's not going to do any kind of intelligent matchmaking. Meaning if you're in a coordinated group, you're going to have a pretty high win rate,
Yeah.
which is going to make your
Reactor
PSR
online.
kind of skyrocket.
Sensors online.
I think if
I guess
anything, they should have a
online-
separate PSR for CW and
Agreed.
All
one for the
systems
regular queue.
nominal.
Of
But
course,
if
I mean,
CW
I don't.
doesn't use PSR, why
Yeah,
does it matter?
I don't know why. That is a good point. I mean, if we had enough people to actually implement such a thing, sure. But I think the game's population is too small to really get
Yeah.
away with it.
Yep.
Now maybe the way since it's not just wins anymore, it's this whole
Based on matchmaker score, basically.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe it doesn't. It's not like okay, so maybe yeah, I want to phrase this. So you have a good game in like regular
Target
queue,
acquired.
and then you have a good game in CW. A good game in CW will have a much higher match score than a good game in public queue, just because you have more things to shoot at, you have more mechs to use. If you're defending, you've got I mean, basically a better position
Airstrike
to fight
online.
from.
Ghost, you and I are up here by ourselves.
Well,
I'll give you guys cover from the right here in a second. Do you think, and I think this is the only way that it would almost make sense, is that they have it so that it's not like a one-to-one correlation between a good solo queue match and a good CW match.
we have enemy UAV out.
It's a bit of a stretch, I think.
Oh, I just got tagged by a bunch of guys.
Oh, he put down a strike. Keep going for Ghost.
New target
Oh.
acquired.
Mine it wasn't improved.
Airstrike
Golf,
activated.
right, left torso.
New target acquired.
He's down.
Base is being captured.
Of course.
New target
Naturally.
acquired.
I'm on that Hellbringer that keeps popping up.
Oh my, they're about to push up here.
Hopefully those guys in
New target
Charlie
acquired.
5 can...
Base is being captured.
head to the base because we can't really do that from this position.
Base 25%
Okay.
captured.
Time to burn mask.
Base is being captured. New target acquired.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna be able to take those on my own.
Base is being captured. New target
On
acquired.
Kilo.
Heat level critical.
Right torso's
Base
open.
50% captured. Target destroyed.
We got over there,
Base
Majo.
is being captured.
2 cheetahs.
Target acquired.
Anyone else fast?
Are you asking about our team or them?
We're gonna need to turn around
Us.
quick.
Yeah, I'm not. You could take these
I'm gonna
guys.
get
I've got-
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and head back now.
Yeah, let's
Just
go.
dance with them.
Base is being captured.
Well, there goes that torso. Fuck.
Just shield. Just
That's
hold
what I'm
as
doing.
fast as long as you can. Just stay on the point.
The point is so far away.
Base is being captured.
You almost have help.
Base 75% captured.
We'll make it. We'll make it.
You did good. You did good.
Base
Yep, that
is
was
being
good work,
captured.
Majo.
It was a moral victory. For
No,
me,
it's
at
gonna
least.
be a real one in a second.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about for me.
God damn it.
Base is being
And
captured.
they're gonna get it
Base
now.
is 90% captured.
Now that Thunderbolt and Direwolf would have helped out. Just saying.
Get on there, get on there! Oh shit.
Oh, don't you leave, buddy.
Target
Yeah,
acquired.
this Stormcrow will be able to.
Target destroyed.
All right, good job. Majo gets the MVP award.
Absolutely.
Yay. Fear my 131 damage.
That's okay.
Doesn't
won us the
matter, you
game.
won us the game.
That's right. Yeah, that was real close. Sliver there.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
that Stormcrow had been a meter behind, it would have been game. Close the BearNet, not tab I meant to. That back up. Yeah, I hope they reconsider the CW affecting PSR, because that's not good.
Like I said, I don't care if it affects PSR as long as it's separate from the group queue and everything else. So it just doesn't make much sense to have them attached because it's a completely different type of game.
I've got to
wonder
get
if
up for a
it's-
second. I'll be right back.
I wonder if that's how they coded it, since it's so closely related to match score. Maybe it just automatically takes match score, but see, even then, I don't know. wouldn't make much sense either.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question, though. I was kind of curious to see how they calculate that out.
I would like to see more concrete details on how exactly it works, as they give us some stuff like, oh, tagging and narking and UAVs work into it, but I mean,
How
I
does
don't
it
know.
all actually math out?
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, we won't really know until things get played out a bit more. I'm sure people will be able to eventually calculate it out based off of the stats that they're putting up. And
I imagine you could even glean some of it from match score and like your player details at the end of each match. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't actually
Yeah.
looked at those too much since they got changed around.
yeah, that's what I meant. Tyler!
Oh, good timing.
Excellent timing, good sir. Alright, teams don't look too stacked.
Yeah, I wish they would apply to Havenless here. I think they withhold a bit too much, to be honest. Like, I'm not asking for 100% of the details to be, like, given out, but I don't know. I feel like if we have a spectrum here of giving out no details to giving out all the details, they're a bit too close to the no
online.
details.
Sensors
Because-
Yeah.
online. Weapons
We
A
online.
just
little
don't
too
know much.
Machiavellian.
Yeah.
All
I think,
systems
touching on
nominal.
what Haven just said, it's pretty obvious to see from some of the other scores that, with especially on CW's side, that the match score goes up a lot depending on the percentage of armor that you have remaining on your mech. Meaning that the more or the less damage you take, the more points you get. It seems to be as well. Which is kind of stupid. If anything, I think it should be the other way around.
Real quick, we're gonna have to sway this because apparently our assaults are. Wait, what?
Target acquired.
Good, yeah. So all of our assaults are in Echo 3. So
Awesome.
Well, we
might
could
have
go over there and
to
help them out.
support them some more.
This is the shit side of the map.
Yep.
Yep.
Out of that, we're losing an entire assault lance. So yeah, 2 Dyers and an Atlas
Airstrike
and a
online.
Cheetah, but oh, we've got
That is not a friendly cheetah.
that one's not. Right leg.
Not
New
the cheetah
target
chasing.
acquired.
Oh, they're not gonna turn around and shoot him, are they?
Assault lance, move forward. Don't mess with the Cheetah and the C's in front of you.
Airstrike activated.
I just
New
realized I
target
Getting shot on 3
acquired.
sides here.
running for that.
You guys need to get up that hill and start applying some fire towards Theta.
Yep.
You
New
got it.
target acquired.
Right torso Echo Mad Dog.
Fox, Ebon Jaguar.
Left torso
Rear
critical
torsos
damage.
are CT. Go CT on them.
I'm hurt pretty bad already.
There's a UAV above you, Ghost. I've got it.
Alright, thanks.
Yep, it's down.
New target acquired.
Oh,
One
Alright.
Juliet Direwolf primary.
Enemy
Yep,
base
left
is
torso.
being captured.
gone.
There you
CT.
go.
Alright, going for CT.
You got 2 more coming around that corner.
We've also got a Wolverine above you. Just
It's a
watch high
direwolf
right.
party.
Another UAV up.
New
Kilo
target
direwolf?
acquired.
Going left torso on him again. Hey, Sans, if I put a strike right at that corner, will it be good or? Not
They're
enough,
backing up. They're backing up. You're not going to get much effect from that.
Okay,
New target acquired.
there we go.
Right
Fuck.
Whoa,
arm
whoa,
critical
whoa. Taking a lot of damage now. They're pushing up again.
New
Right torso
target
Kilo. He's
acquired.
gone.
He's down. India now. That's just a warhawk.
Target acquired.
Yeah, left horse one.
Target destroyed.
Gone.
He's down.
Die,
New
motherfucker!
target acquired. Right arm destroyed. Target destroyed. New target
That's 3.
acquired.
That's an interesting screen. I wonder
New
if
target acquired.
it's supposed to take into account
Actually-
how many mechs you have left, or if it is in
No,
fact a
what it
bug.
does
Target
is if you
acquired.
don't die, it
Target
doubles.
Charlie's one shot. He got
Oh,
him.
it just that's
Straight
that's
up.
all okay.
Yeah. So he got like a 500 match score, and because he didn't die, it doubled, which I think encourages a horrible play style.
Yeah. Timidity is the last thing that we need.
Like you're completely saying that you should protect yourself and not take any damage and not be aggressive.
Here's a here's a match style that we give you 4 mechs, but we only want you to use one of them.
Target destroyed.
Basically
you.
it.
Fire starter.
Calm down, calm down. Did he kill
killed
himself?
That was
Target
my kill.
acquired. Target
How dare he.
destroyed.
Oh well.
I don't know. Again, I'm just gonna reiterate. I feel like they are not giving out enough details.
Well, I'm
they don't keep out
hoping-
everything, but
After that screenshot, that the one that Scrandom is talking about right now, I saw that screenshot with the CW match. The dude did nothing.
really,
He hardly did anything in the match. He
Well,
got
yeah.
a lot of assists, but he hardly did anything in the match, and he survived. All 4 of his mechs survived, and he got over 1,000 points match score, which
500 points.
amazing.
I haven't checked match score for CW for a while, but 500 points is. You can get 300 to 500 in a regular game now. That's like really shit, actually.
it wouldn't make any sense to do it like that. Like I said, it's encouraging basically cowardice and passive play, which is not what we want. We want people that are aggressive and they're there to play the game for what it is,
Dynamic play.
not just hide. This is not Call of Duty. This is not who can be the best sniper.
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully, we can get more information. Because, and whether or not this will include anything about this, but apparently we'll have a roadmap for September this week at some point. From Russ Bullock. So, curious on what that's
Yep.
gonna include. But sorry, go ahead.
CT, in response to what you said, yes, it might not be a bug right now. It might be working as intended, but I'm pretty sure it's something that wasn't thoroughly thought through. They've come out with multiple things like that in the past where it seemed like a good idea at the time, and then once it got actually thrown through execution, it didn't work as they originally thought that it would. I'm sure that it's going to be something that they look at in the future, and that there's going to be enough complaints about it that it's not going to stay. At least not in that current form. There's going to be something else that adds into it or subtracts from it that will balance that out so that it will dissuade that type of gameplay. Also, guys, appreciate you guys tuning in and following, subscribing. Definitely appreciate that viewership.
We've got some CA guys on the other team and some MS on ours.
Yeah.
Got some Robertson's Rangers over there too.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
But yeah, some people are saying for the upcoming roadmap that hopefully there's a good chance we'll have word about a like a test server going up for the battle value, because last word on that was that it was basically done. Now, they keep on saying we're going to have a
Target acquired.
test up for that, so hopefully they're sticking by that. Because goodness knows we need it.
Mm-hmm. No, it's one of those things I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, it's like, I feel like all the things that PGI does, they do
New
it in
target
good
acquired.
intentions, but at the same time, it's like bad decisions.
Yeah. See, normally this is where I drop a quote like the road to hell is paved with good intentions,
New target
without actually
acquired.
misuse of the quote.
Airstrike online. Airstrike activated.
That's all I was thinking as I saying that. It's like, I mean, they mean well, but they're really not doing well.
New target acquired. New target acquired.
Golf quick draws
New
one shot.
target acquired.
Yeah, but he
From
got
the rear,
fine cover.
front CT is open.
Already strike on top of Theta, move out.
Got an Atlas pushing up in Charlie 4.
New target acquired.
India rear torso has got to be open. We've got.
New
No,
target
never mind, I only have able to
acquired.
see him from where you guys are.
Careful, Hokage.
New target acquired.
I'm just having fun with them.
Let's finish him then.
And with your food.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Push forward into Charlie 4. Let's get back up on top of that hill so we can shoot down on him. Take the high ground.
That's good.
Target
They are
acquired.
sliding left through Bravo 4 into Bravo 3. We might have to get some shots on them out there.
New target acquired.
Boondroid is them in Bravo 4. They're backpedaling towards
New
the
target
base back there.
acquired. New
Did
target
that quick draw go
acquired.
down? No, he did not.
Heat level critical.
Whoops. I think he just tried to. He just fired AC-20s at me? India CT Executioner. He's one shot.
New target acquired. Target
I'm
destroyed.
gone.
shot.
New target acquired.
Good kill on the Wolverine.
New target
And there I go.
acquired.
CT on Juliet, Jägermech.
Also critical damage.
Left torso 2.
How is he not
Arm
dead?
Critical damage.
Gone.
New target acquired.
Something just shut down in the middle of that RE strike. Hoverboard.
Left torso destroyed.
Dang it.
Gauss ammo
Just lost the
destroyed.
whole business side.
Gauss
of my mech.
rifle destroyed. Center torso critical.
Now watch out, we've
damage.
got Kilo Sparky C. Oh, never mind.
He's dead.
He did not choose life.
He chose
Oh.
overheat.
New target acquired. New target acquired.
For just a
Aw.
moment, I just killed a guy named Absidal Gore, and for just a moment, I thought it said I had killed Al Gore. And I was like, what? No, I like Al Gore.
How'd you even get that name?
Good job, good job.
Yeah,
Pretty
you're
balanced
doing well.
damage that time.
Yep, good stuff.
In response to CT, I think it's not necessarily telling CW teams to look for weak pugs. I mean, that's happening no matter what. I think it's more likely telling people that if they play, and actually Ghost might have already touched on this because I'm about to repeat what he said. It's telling people to play cowardly instead of actually playing the game.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, it's definitely reinforcing that type of gameplay, which
It's not good. It's not what we need.
no,
We
it's
need to
well
encourage aggression and like actual like smart tactical decisions, not
exactly.
just I'm gonna sit in the back, hope for the best, and just like ping at people, get assists,
Hope that my team can
win without
pick up.
me.
Yeah.
You know, I've actually got a question, and I'm curious to see what you guys think of it. So, currently, all of our game modes are essentially either 1 life or 4 lives.
Sands.
We're all trapped in a giant team deathmatch.
And this isn't gonna fix that problem, but we have a respawn system in. What would you guys think of like a? I'm thinking of like what was it called? Domination, like the COD games, where you don't win by kills, you win strictly through capping enough points. Something like that, where you only get 1 mech, but you get infinite respawns in that mech until one team or the other gets a certain number of points, a la Conquest.
That'd be kind of neat. Sands, you're super quiet, bro.
What?
You sound like you're talking from like 10 feet back from your mic.
How about now?
That's a little better.
You're a bit echoey.
Yeah, your voice definitely changed.
Oh, how about now?
That's much
There
better.
we go.
I had moved my mic boon up. I was saying goodbye to someone who was visiting in the house.
Nice.
Did you
Unacceptable.
hear what I was saying, Sans, or?
I did. I think that it would be a decent game mode to put into the queue. I like the having like a Battlefield-esque game mode where you're fighting over tickets and control points rather than
Reactor online.
Because
Sensors
part
online.
of the match would still be
Weapons
get more
online.
kills than the other team. Because I mean, it's been a while since I
All
played COD, but
systems nominal.
from what I remember, if your team was not winning on kills, then it was unlikely. It was still possible to win through cap, but it was still difficult. But it was still possible is the thing. I think the only thing is, I think I remember back when CW was first showing up, and we were getting information about that. People were not liking the fact that you had respawns, which honestly I don't understand why. Because I think I never played Mech Warrior 4 multiplayer, but I know in Living Legends you had a certain number of you could definitely respawn and get a new mech.
I feel like that the game mode should be there for people. I mean, the group and solo queue are more or less like a Mech Warrior arcade anyway. It's no
Yeah.
point in beating around the bush. CW is the stuff that's supposed to be kind of realistic and themed to war in the BattleTech universe.
Oh, this is gonna
Whereas
be really
Steam
awkward.
Strike online.
Group and solo queue is kind of just, having fun in a big giant stompy robot or bipedal tank. As,
So my
and,
HUD turned off, and I
Good
don't.
stuff.
Wait,
and
your
I
what
didn't
turned off?
Turn it, my HUD. Like I can't actually tell the difference between a friendly and an enemy now.
Here, power down, power back up.
You guys see anything else?
Get back.
Contacts in like Delta 5 area.
Nope.
Well, you're
Anybody
playing on
remember?
hardcore mode now, Hokage?
Oh, ultra hardcore mode, yeah. Let's do it.
I think it's, but going back to, not to put down Hokage's troubles, going back to the conversation,
Yeah, no, by all means.
I think it'd be a really good game mode for Steam
Target
release, because I think
acquired.
it would be a lot more
Yep.
new player friendly.
Agreed, CT.
Charlie Timberwolf.
He's legged, CT.
He's dead.
New target
He bravely
acquired.
charged us.
Arctic Cheetah made it back.
And my server connection just went out.
That was a bad shot.
King Crab up
Hopefully I'm
top,
not dead.
Bravo. Right toward, what is that build? And it's an XL.
No.
Right leg on India, if you can.
Please don't
Oh.
be dead. Please don't be dead.
You're not. Only Hikage's dead so far.
Yep, I got about as much damage out as I could without being able to aim properly.
Why's my Gauss rounds keep falling
Heat
through
level
things?
critical.
I actually did pretty decent.
Right arm on the Nova that just fell down. Right
Foxtrot, Timberwolf.
New target
Important.
acquired.
Bullshit.
Right torso.
That's my strike.
I reconnect just long enough to be red for the rest of the match. Stupid DC.
Better than being dead for the rest of the match.
Airstrike online.
A shot away from dead.
Heat level critical.
You can do a lot of damage a shot away from death.
DT Echo.
Target destroyed.
Got him.
New target acquired.
Get hug Juliet. Hug Juliet.
Heat level critical.
Dang it, Jägerman, get out of my way.
Incoming missile. Heat level
This
critical.
guy's he does not have an XL. Now it
Target
doesn't matter.
Destroyed.
Yeah.
Heat level critical.
Okay.
That Timberwolf's poking up over top of the ridge. Still got a few of them down below. I'm gonna drop.
Yep. Legs on
New
Kilo Nova.
target acquired.
Whoops. I could handle that one. That cheetah is
Target
smoking.
destroyed.
Can't tell where from. India.
Heat level critical.
Right leg on India.
Ooh, that was close.
BT on hotel. He's gone.
Gauss ammo at 25%.
It's an
New
ah.
target acquired. Target
BT on
destroyed.
India. He's gone.
New target acquired.
No, fuck you.
Nice job, Sans. You protected yourself.
New target acquired. Target destroyed.
I don't think I did much
I
damage
actually
there, but
lived. Wow.
I had a couple shots that looked like they went right through, but maybe it was just me. And again, guys, thanks for sticking with us here and giving us your input, discussing this kind of stuff with us. This is exactly what we want: is community talking back and giving us some good opinions, good ideas, and also some critiques on what we think that PGI is doing wrong. So it helps us to redirect that and be accurate with those comments and statements that we can send to them to help improve on the game. And they do listen to us. So yeah, as a whole. What's up?
I feel like it sometimes.
Yeah, and the
Only-
guys that stick with us here, I'll make sure that I just I toss some good stuff your way here at the end of the show. So stay tuned if you can.
Ghost.
Yes, I'm tossing you.
I need to reinvite.
I just see they've used the thing that annoys me is they've used the test server before. Thing is, I could go full on Anakin at the end of the third movie. I guess Revenge of the Sith, except to lose the mechanical arm too, and still be able to count on my limbs the number of times they've used it. Like they've used it once for the clans, and once for the what was it, the European servers. Am I missing any? I guess they've technically used it twice for the clans, but I'm not going to count that because that's just arbitrary. Like, have they used it more than those 2 times? I guess 3 times if you count maybe
What
this.
is this?
About them using the test server.
Like, the thing is, they should be really actively using it, like, constantly. They should just be, like, trying shit out and throwing it on the test server. Not even necessarily taking it live, just, like, throwing stuff on there, see what happens. Be like, hey, let's try this crazy idea that Todd thought up last week. Because that's what it's for. Like,
I guess-
literally.
I guess the only thing is are they in a position to do
And-
that? Because I guess they're probably
Sweet.
they're probably doing is living on a patch-to-patch basis. In order to do that, they'd have to, like, basically not have a patch one time. Instead, say, okay, all the stuff is on the test server or something like that.
Well, it's fine for some things, like normally patch to patch, they aren't really doing much to the game. They're like adjusting, maybe, actually sometimes nothing. We can go weeks without really having much of a change in a patch. It's usually new maps.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a good point.
So really, like, nothing would change. It would just be like a regular patch cycle. Nothing changed this week, so it's just kind of a, hey, we're just like tweaking some small stuff, like bug fixes, whatever. And then they can just try stuff out on the live server, or on the test server, rather than just like randomly throwing in changes into live, treating it like a giant test server.
Yeah, that's.
Alright, this might be
yeah.
a bit more organized of a group we're going up against here.
Yeah.
8 man, at least.
Don't worry, we got somebody who will work for heat sinks.
Reactor online. Sensors online.
This
Could be worse.
Systems online. All systems nominal.
Yay, my HUD's back. I can aim and tell who my enemies are.
I just totally fucking walked out in that shit. Just not paying attention.
Firing on the Hellbringer. Looks might. Oh, never mind. It's not gonna be stock.
I don't know why we're engaging them like this.
Our
This is a
lance is
terrible
way
idea.
fucking far away. We need to like get closer to our teammates. This
You
is a
guys
terrible
go. I'm
place
gonna
to
keep
be.
on hitting these guys because I'm not actually that. Oh, there goes that side torso or that arm at least. You guys go. I'll catch up.
Airstrike online.
Make like a squished tomato. Ketchup.
What about Odd Majo?
I said make like a squished tomato and ketchup.
What? It doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't. It's not supposed to.
Well, my
Hey there, Kira.
It's okay.
Hey.
Hey, how's it
I mean,
going?
To be fair, Ghost, it's better than my trumpet professor likes to say. Make like a Christmas tree and get out of here.
The fucking
Target
Just
acquired.
Yeah.
Back to the Future joke.
Yep.
It's leave. Make like a tree and leave.
Hey, stop tickling me from there.
Yeah, fuck you. Oh, they went down into the death pit.
I'm okay with
New
that.
target acquired.
Me too.
We've got a lance in what was that? Fox 7.
They're firmly aiming at us now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it's time to not be here. It was opportunistic before, but now it's just dangerous.
Just fucking chill. That's all we gotta do for a minute.
Right
I wanna
torso
chill.
critical
That-
damage.
Fighter has the reflexes of
I
a
really want to
feral
kill that
Sergeant
direwolf
cow.
though.
There goes that torso. There goes.
Ah,
New
fuck it.
target acquired.
They're charging back up that hill.
Right
Need support
arm
over here.
critical damage. Center torso
Oh, shit, I got that
critical
kill.
damage. Right arm destroyed.
Somehow.
Rear torso.
Left torso
Oh, there he goes.
critical damage. Right
Yeah, I
torso
can't. I
destroyed.
gotta fall down.
Heat level critical.
I'm down. Yes, mistakes were made.
New target acquired.
It definitely all came back up. Collectively.
Target
Good
destroyed.
job, Sans. That's exactly what I was going
New
for.
target acquired.
Thank goodness for that UAV.
New target acquired.
I'm running. They are
Already
coming
struck
for
the
me.
UAV.
Yep.
Nice.
New target acquired.
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
my cookies bring all the boys to the yard.
Hello, UAV.
Damn right, they're better than yours.
That's right. Damn right. They're better
New
than
target
yours.
acquired.
You can teach me, but you have to charge.
Nope, nope, nope. Oh, I'm fucking dead. That
Right
motherfucker's gonna kill
arm
me.
critical damage.
I can't fight him. He's basically a full health
Healed at
executioner.
25%.
Run.
Here,
Sag.
back up and I'll get him in the
Run for
back.
your life.
Go for his leg and run.
This is you.
Fuel at 25%.
I made him back the fuck off.
Fuel at 0%.
Yep.
DT on him.
Good job, Hikage. You just saved Sans' life.
He totally
Fuck
did.
yeah. Achievement unlocked. Saving Sans' ass.
God, the grasshopper is so badass at damage rolling.
DT on him
Well,
still. Oh,
I ran into a small problem.
And
I'm
that
out
is.
of bullets. I ran out of ammo.
need more bullet.
Yeah, I don't know, CT. That's a really good question. Sorry, I missed your question earlier.
Target destroyed.
Oh, my damage doesn't even be that good. I wasn't even aiming that well.
I think that was the spider I tore their arm off of earlier. Possibly. Good job, guys.
Which question? Are you looking at, Ghost?
Oh, yes, that the other team voluntarily went down
Oh.
below ground and then just stood down there for an extended period of time.
Yeah, that was a bad idea on their part.
Well, the question is which.
Although, I'll give
Oh,
them
that
kudos
was-
for
that was the,
collectively charging back up that hill. I mean, that was ballsy.
If they hadn't lost the other lance, they would have been able to. More
Wasn't enough.
Well, would have been closer of a match, I think.
I apparently average a single point of team damage each game. I'm not sure how I'm doing that.
Very carefully.
Right?
Aw, yeah.
Time
Oh,
to
yeah, it's-
give back to the community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'd
Mhm.
assume that Scranton is right
Eh.
there. If you
I
haven't
just
seen
don't
that
know if
Sans.
the community wants that kind of giving. There, Ghost.
It might be a little bit too much giving.
Well, remember, this isn't Alex doing the giving.
Not sure where to
Well,
take
you know.
that.
So, let's see. Oh, some merciless adders.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons
We
online.
really ought to plug ourselves more when we do these drops.
All systems.
You know, this
Yeah,
build
well.
has really grown on me since we've been playing.
What
Kind of
was
like
that?
a fungus.
I need to get my macros set back up for that, actually, Hokage.
It is the Grasshopper 5J with three large lasers and 2 medium lasers with a standard 300, I believe. Not the fastest you can make a Grasshopper.
Hit 3 large?
3 larges, yes.
Oh, I was
So
wrong.
one in each arm, one in CT, or how are you
Yep.
keeping that? Okay.
One in each arm. Yeah, I gave up the extra energy card.
Come on, baby, you can make it.
Could zombie a little bit better.
Ouch.
So I was wrong. I'm a total scrub. I didn't burn through 150 rounds. I burned through 210.
Really?
Wow.
Target
Yeah,
acquired.
That's no here.
Got an Arctic cheetah moving out far left.
Airstrike
Oh, a
online.
lot of it was like 700 meter range shooting against moving targets.
Airstrike activated.
I
Target
re-
Little
acquired.
awkward.
There's a storm pro with that almost blown up down there. Let's
Yeah, that-
kill him.
You're breaking up bad sense.
Yeah, Yukon robot.
Oh.
What'd you do?
You really should give him the Little Blake, because apparently he's got Manai Domini.
How about now? Is this bad?
No.
No,
In fact, it might be a bit worse.
sounds like lag.
New target acquired.
Golf.
New target acquired.
We've got 3 in Delta 4.
Let's move up.
New target acquired. New target acquired. New target acquired.
CT on Foxtrot.
Target destroyed.
Damn it.
Heat level critical. Target destroyed.
Wow, this was a massacre.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
And another guy blows himself up.
Target acquired.
Yeah, 1 minute head structure and inside torso, the next one's gone.
Target destroyed. New target acquired.
Feeling like the Killsteel Fairy has really been taking advantage of me right now.
I'm nowhere near you right now, Ghost.
Oh, you bastard.
Target destroyed.
Oh well. Yeah, that was definitely a correct play on my part.
Hey Sans, you should try poking Ghost now.
Oh my god, did you get me permissions?
No.
Sort of.
That was bad.
I can totally poke you now. Why am I a lone wolf? I don't understand.
Because MS doesn't have a tag.
Ah.
So I just asked, or Phil just changed it so lone wolves could poke.
That could be
You
dangerous.
know? Right? He might regret that decision at a later date, but right now it's working pretty good.
Alright. We are currently 9-1 for tonight.
Nice.
Let's make that
Yeah.
10-1, shall we?
Sounds good to me.
Hey Sans,
Yes.
you know what we should do?
What?
Get Hokage to radio.
You want? Okay, I'll do one.
Yes!
I have no idea,
You
Haven.
have to bring a wang, or otherwise you're not
I'm
allowed to
getting
go
in
in
a
the media.
Yunla Wang.
I don't have a wang.
You're not allowed to play in a
You
media.
don't have
Get
a
out.
Wang. That's weird.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
If you want, I can throw the AC 20, UA 20 on the Shadowcat. That's about all I can bring on it. But even then, no. But I will switch just for the sake of matchmaking time.
Is that Phil or Darren?
That is Phil.
What's up, Phil? Bagger, huh?
Yep. I caught it. I
Bagger.
caught it.
There's so much I can say right now, I'm just gonna let that go. Nope, I can't. So you gonna teabagger him? What are you gonna do, man?
Yeah, right?
Hey, Phil. What's up?
Hey, guys.
What's
Thank
up,
you
Phil?
for empowering me to poke people. I will
Yeah.
endeavor not to abuse this ability.
I would have just given you MS tags, but nobody's ever like set up MS on here, or at least asked me. So
I think that the logic is that because MS is a conglomerate unit, that they shouldn't have tags on an actual
Correct.
TeamSpeak.
Yeah, Darren actually set that up a few months back. He set up MS tags, and then he decided that it was not a good idea based off of that exact reasoning.
But it's super inconvenient for people in MS. I guess I could get OU tags on me,
Just get
I
OU
would-
tags. Yep.
but I don't think they've been set up.
So how are you doing this evening, Phil?
good, man. Just hanging out with the wife, watching the Arsenal Liverpool match from earlier today.
Cool.
Yeah, nice.
Right on.
Sounds good.
We're just finishing up our usual hour and a half news. Hour and a half.
I saw that.
Drop
Sorry,
some bullshitting.
sorry, missed it.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. If you want, you can watch it on YouTube.
And you get
You're getting. Oh god.
Yeah,
And
guy.
Alex
Right.
is here to lose
Just-
his shit over.
Just catch the next one. Also,
Did you,
Phil.
Did you have any questions?
I think that there was a myriad of questions that had kind of gotten shot back and forth throughout the day regarding the new ranking system and
PSR.
yes,
And the
so-
logic behind certain decisions.
correct. Have you seen the recent screenshot that somebody threw up that they basically scored over 1,000 points match score, but they didn't do anything?
Mm-mm.
Let's see if I can get you a link to that. I'll have to look that one up. But essentially, there's something up with the, I guess, algorithm that if you just stay alive and don't kill anything. I mean, the guy had like no kills. He had a bunch of assists and not very much damage at all. And he had over 1,000 point match score in CW.
Oh, well, CW's... that's a bit different. I thought you were just talking about a regular match, but...
But no one
Whoa.
else got even close to that, and they were getting kills, assists, doing damage, actually being team players. So I think that there's some concerns floating around as far as to what the reasoning is behind that, or is that a mistake, a bug, or working
Well,
as
the first thing
intended?
I would say is, what was the player doing to be able to generate that? So the reason I bring that up is, was he getting locks on targets? You know, was he flanking, getting locks? I mean, there is other things than just firepower and just taking down mechs. I mean, that's sort of the end goal, but and did he survive the entire time in one mech? I mean, that's the point is, you know, there should be those roles where a person doesn't necessarily have to fight to be able to do well in a match. So,
But don't you think that, yeah, I fully agree that they should be getting rewarded for being a support or recon style gameplay. But don't you think that's also contributing to, or at least encouraging, extremely passive playstyle? And by passive, I mean not really getting involved in helping to damage things. I mean, I can see you sitting there tagging things and arcing things all day long, and yes, that's helpful, but you're also not there taking damage, you're not there assisting with the damage of your team. I think that it's a kind of two-edged, double-edged sword, more or less.
Target acquired. Airstrike online.
I'm on Delta.
Oh, just try to use Mask and Hellbringer.
You're getting spoilt, hey Joe.
I don't know if playing the Shadow Cat constantly for the last few weeks is being spoiled.
New target acquired.
there's so many
Airstrike
variables when it comes to
activated.
community warfare. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I can't give you an answer, but like someone just linked a match with 228 where they have a 4-man, and it looks like their entire side just raffle stomped the other team. Well,
New target acquired.
yeah, they're gonna have high scores. Yeah, they're gonna have high damage. Yeah, they're gonna have high match scores because they're going up against unorganized, individuals, and they're really good players. I mean, so I think there's just too many.
Yeah, but the thing is,
variables
to
not
generate
posted.
a high match
New
score and
target
do like a ton of
acquired.
damage, get a bunch of kills, that makes sense. But when you don't apparently do really anything of note, then it's kind of hard to understand how you can get
Target
So-
Behind us.
acquired.
like that.
I'm
New
looking
target
at the
acquired.
screen cap. One, there's
Frontal torso
no. I don't get to see what mech
critical
used.
damage.
So right off the
And-
bat,
I guess
well, do we know what mech he's in? Because
if I could, I
Let me
think
see if I can find
one of
it.
the issues that people are finding with this is that, I mean, we know so very little of what actually plays into this new system. Like we've got something that's like UAV sort of work into it, like how many mechs a UAV reveals, like tag and narc works into it, and all this, like I think flanking was it also works in a bit, but we don't know everything that does. So he could have, we just don't know why he got that score.
okay, well, I mean,
So for all we know, it could have been.
I found it.
Yeah, we just don't know.
Well, I know, but you're almost looking at it in negative light, like, oh, he must be doing something or the system must be broke. But I mean, if you look at it, he did 1,680, which was the most damage on that entire team. He had the most assists. He didn't have the most kills, but we all know, damage, kills isn't necessarily reflective. But then what you don't see is what mech is he in, how many, spots did he get, how many flank maneuvers, and I mean, but you're also looking at a team. It's not like it looked like Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie Lance on the enemy team was even able to really put up a fight. So again, I'm missing a whole lot of the picture here without knowing how many, pre-made groups were in there, what mechs were they in. I mean, it's like jumping to the conclusion like, oh, this totally must be broken.
Route number now.
The other ones.
Yeah, I pasted the link to it in the channel. Like you said, it's hard to really see exactly what all happened.
I'm not saying you're defending. I'm just saying, like, without the entire picture. Okay, so yeah, 16. I mean, it doesn't seem crazy to me. They've lived the entire match, which obviously, and they've contributed the most damage. So it's not like they were just sitting out there doing nothing.
Well, the one Ghost just linked in chat has a guy with a match score 747, and he barely broke 1,000 damage. The only thing he basically did was...
I'm just saying that he's got way higher
You guys are
points.
putting no emphasis on all the other little things that you can get match score from, and you're just putting the emphasis on just damage and kills and assists.
And that's why I was saying what I was saying is I don't know...
But that's all we can actually really see and track.
I mean, every single time you get stuff, it pops up,
Yeah, but I can't sit there with a clicker for everything.
Well, I know, but you can pay attention and sort of see. I mean, still, he got 747, got 1,000 damage, and he got 30 assists. Like, that's more than anybody on that team got.
Yeah, but you can just rake somebody with a laser, you get the assist for it. That's
I get
less
it,
than 1 damage.
What mech was he in? How was he playing? And obviously the team won. I mean,
right.
I'm not sitting here defending it. I'm saying that there's a whole lot of information that you guys are just you don't have, and if you don't have,
here's the thing: is we're not being given any of the information.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that, Phil.
How this is possible? Like, what's the math behind this crazy match score? Because what we're seeing isn't actually impressive. Like, yeah, he didn't die. That's impressive because it is CW. It's hard to go through that many mechs and not lose something. But his damage is not very high.
So okay. So
I agree with what Phil's saying, though.
Okay, so what do you think the system is just being or like someone can get around the system? Is that
possibly abusing it?
Is
a possibility.
But see, here's the thing: is if they bloat their match scores, it doesn't help them because PSR is not used for matchmaking in Community Warfare. I don't know the reasoning behind it. I know,
solo,
but,
right?
I know, but it's solo and group. So what I'm saying is, if they're using Community Warfare to bloat, the only thing that's going to do is kick them right in the nuts when they go down to solo or group. Because, and again, I don't know the reasoning, and I'm not going to question why that decision was made because I don't know to include CW, but if a person bloats their match score, and I don't think that's the case on this. I mean that one, he was one of the very few left alive. But I also think you have to look at the bigger picture here. Is with this new PSR system and the ability to plug in these other attributes, what does this mean for this rebalance system coming down the pipeline? Where Russ and Paul have talked about information warfare being a big part of things. And I think if everyone just looks at, the game through just, damage and kills assist, that should only be a part. Yes, it is mech combat and that's a pillar, but there are other attributes that should, net you. Because if you run around a Locust or Commando or whatever, miss links, guys, you're never going to be able to compete in the firepower. So you have to be able to fulfill a role, per se, that isn't just about firepower.
And I agree with that 100%, and I think that should be most certainly implemented. But I'm worried that the emphasis on how important that role is versus the other, they should be balanced and not one looks. I mean, it might be deceiving, but looks to be drastically more powerful than the other. And the
Well,
guy that
you're also
does
you're
the
missing
high
component
damage,
destruction. You're also missing all the personal info of that player, of what their
Weapons
match score
online.
breaks down, why and what they were getting
All
awarded.
systems
And that's what I'm saying
nominal.
is, if you'd have had that match screen and then also the individual's match screen, you can easily see why said person. I mean, just looking at the
thing is, though, you're rewarding them for being opportunistic and passive, not active, aggressive, and like trying to make
that's
something
the
happen. Right?
concern. How can we create or I'm sorry, how can we as players tell the difference between how the score differentiate between someone who's properly performing a battlefield role that doesn't necessarily mean engaging the enemy, like say information warfare, versus just being passive? We can't actually see the scores that it is supposed to be tracking in a match in a scorekeeping screen. Not
yeah,
even
but the one picture you linked with 228, they're an organized group. I mean, if their strategy was for whatever reason, whatever mech he was in, to do what he was doing, they organized that, and that's his
Airstrike
decision at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I don't think
think
it's going to cater. I mean, the screenshots they've shown me, I think, have basically said is both those high scores were both pre-made groups. So it's not like you're just going to create this sense of, oh, I'm just going to look out for myself. Because at the end of the day, if you do that, well, more often than not, you're going to lose the match. I mean, you do have a role and fulfill, and I don't think, So what? Again, so what if people at their match score, like it's only going to kick them in the teeth if they go solo and group.
And to provide a counterpoint, reinforce what Sean is saying. I have not seen anything in solo or group queue that I consider to be an unfair match score so far.
no, not at all.
I've had the most amazing
Target
solo matches.
acquired.
That's all I played last week.
I think all in all that the PSR change was a really good one.
New target
And
I agree.
acquired.
When you go down to group, the problem with group right now is the same problem we had before. Is it's not Evo that was creating unbalanced matches in group or PSR. It's the fact of
New target
control over
acquired.
matches and being able to take whatever mechs, being able to take whatever group size, and how much pull that has on whether or not
New
you win or
target
lose.
acquired.
And that's not going to change until the community really speaks up and says we want these things to change. So
I agree.
and you guys have known my stance on
New
it.
target acquired.
I've been advocating for
Heat level critical.
4x1 going back in, but I also think there's some other options. I don't know if
Airstrike.
I am in
activated.
the minority of players that does not
Target
actually
acquired.
like lumping the large groups in with the medium and small groups. I feel like there should be 2 group queues, but I just don't know if we have the population
we did
to
that
do
before
that.
with 12-mans and no one used
Yeah.
it. And
Well-
my point being is, how do you
Target
cater towards a
destroyed.
public match where you reduce buckets almost down to 0, so it helps matchmaker, it helps the finding matches quickly.
Target
And
acquired.
I do think you could, you'd have to hear me out on this,
target
what
acquired.
would it be like if we say, now with
Your CTC.
PSR system being really good in what it's doing, what if we,
Heat level critical.
this is metaphorical, what if we said solo and group go back together, but because remember the original idea with group was, and solo back in the day was, it was going to reduce groups down to 1 per team,
Target destroyed.
and then so solo and 1 group per team. But then what you do is you say 4x1, so that group is a
New
4x1
target acquired.
mixed with solos, and you only have 1 group per. So the reason I say this is
Target
that
acquired.
you take like 6 buckets, and you're basically reducing it down to 2. And the reason I say 2 is because PSR, you always have 2 buckets, because tier 5 can't play with tier 1, and tier 1 can't play, so it splits it right down the middle, 2 buckets. So if you were to do solo and group, and the problem originally with group and solos was that there was so much control in the group, as far as, again, being able to take, yes, it was, you could only take 4 mechs at a time, but I think there is a potential if you were to do that, and the new PSR system, we know how well it's working with this solo, and you're putting restrictions on the group 4x1, that you could literally eliminate almost all the buckets. And I would also toss out, you remove game modes from the decision of the player, and the caveat to that would be you need to improve game modes. Game modes are very boring right now. They're very linear. The rebalance patch coming is going to help a lot of that, but it can only do so much. Like, the game modes have to cater towards how the mechs and the information warfare and all that. So
It needs to be more objective-based gameplay.
yes,
That
Yeah,
actually,
I agree 100%.
something that we brought up earlier, and first in regards to matchmaking, is that something that we might be able to see now? I'm not saying like we see this next week or maybe even next month, but so far we were talking earlier about basically we don't feel like they've been using the public test servers to their best potential. Is that something we maybe, hopefully, down the line might see that, like different matchmaking systems?
well, you're going to see the rebalance hit in the public test.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and we know
Oh,
that,
you're
but,
talking
like,
about the
saying
PSR.
more, using the public test for more things than just this, because so far
I
I
think
was trying
the
to remember
reality
all
of
that
it is it's very time consuming, and in ideal world what you want is as many people on PTS as possible. So for like this rebalance, one thing I'm pushing really hard for is, one, we get notification out very early of, hey, this is what's going on, this is when it's going on, and this is how long it's going on, so we can get as many people on PTS as possible. And I think people need to understand that when it does go up on PTS, it's not about the micro changes that, because people are going to have opinions like, oh, this needs to do this. It's mainly looking at, is there anything big that, from a gameplay macro sort of top down, is there anything that's sort of weird or wonky or even broke? And then those changes go in, and then you have it on PTS up again. I think it's a lot of time and effort, and
Well, real quick, you mentioned there that and I agree that it's about getting as many people there as possible to test it out. We've seen in the past. There was one that just ended, the Oceanic takeover and the European takeover. Do you think they might? I think it would be actually a fantastic idea to do something similar to that, except for the public test.
I think it'd be cool if
maybe
they
not
did
so
an event.
extreme, but
Yeah, I think they could do an event where, hey guys, if you head over and if you log into PTS and you play matches, well, you get a mech bay or you do that. I think that would be a good encouragement for people that may not even know. But PTS, I think, is one of those things there. It's a tool, but it's not a tool that's like is going to be used on a daily basis just because of how much goes into it. So
yeah.
but PSR, and that's the thing is, I was dropping all last week solo. Amazing match, like the best matches I've had. Like when I was dropping, I was literally having a blast, and I was like, this is how solo I've always like that experience. And the only way you're gonna get that, in my opinion, and gotta say that, is group. You have to have restrictions, and some pretty massive restrictions have to come in. The player choice has to almost all go away, because the reality of it is a lot of people like to drop with groups. There's nothing stopping you from doing it in private matches. And community warfare, yes, needs a lot of, it needs to be the focal point for big groups. But any argument, I've gone full circle with people, and the only argument is I should be able to drop with a lot of my friends. But what they're basically saying is balance the game around larger groups. But we've already tried doing that, and it doesn't work. It isn't working. And anybody that their excuse is, oh well, just a larger player base will solve it. That's false. That's
That won't change anything.
So I do think PSR improving group play would either you go down a 4x1, you combine solo and group again, but you do it with restrictions. And I think that would be actually really cool, because I remember when this system came in, as a solo player, I don't mind dropping against groups. I minded as a solo or two-man group dropping and going up against, at the time, it was like, 3 Timberwolves, a Direwolf, or, 3 Dragon Slayers and a Cataphract. Like, there was nothing I could do. Obviously, the PSR system's here, and if you were to put in restrictions 4x1, I think it'd be best. I think that's ultimately what has to come down to is what does Russ see as the long term as a benefit? Because even though statistically 4+ man groups may be a total minority, but the system and havoc they cause in the matchmaker, people are going to complain. So, I mean, there will literally be people that will threaten to leave the game. And so you got to counter, like, so your experience is ruining my experience, but yours is more important than ours. Where statistically,
Yeah.
you're the...
I've never been a fan of being able to run 12 mans indiscriminately in the group queue. I feel like it really unbalances it and makes it pretty much unfun for anyone but the 12 man,
And
unless they run into another 12 man.
And I really like what you said about the 4x1. I think that's the best way to, if we implement like groups up to 4 mixing with solo players, I think that would be the best way to do that. I think the main issue as a solo player, because way back when, I think that I didn't have an issue with a single group with 3 assaults and a heavy. I had the issue where it's like a single player going against essentially larger groups than that. So I think if we limit it to 4 would be nice.
And it was weird because back then too, before PSR, so if someone didn't know, basically you had a wide variety of skills sometimes in a group match, just because if I dropped to my mediums and I'm maxed out 2000 elo, and so I'm taking up X amount of that maximum team score, if you will, and so you may have lower skilled players on your team, and that's what I love about the PSR system, which is you may have some outliers right now just because of just the inherent system until you play X amount of games, but the idea is it puts you as a solo player where you actually fall as far as skill level. Now someone will say, oh well, like right now the same effect is still happening where groups can still carry players, but the difference to win or lose, the difference is now they're not getting like the match score. If you're playing with a really good team is going to help you as far as you're probably going to have a little bit higher match score or damage output potentially, but it's not as dramatic as it was before. And I don't know, I think we're at that point in time where we know how much group size and control, and every unit I've talked to, unit size usually, not individuals, units from high to low skill usually want 4s to come back or some shape or forms, and 4s to me isn't enough because I remember 4s, and 4s it needs to be 4x1 or something along the lines of you can't take 3 Direwolves and a Timberwolf or 3 teams and a Stormcrow.
Some kind of restriction in place.
I think the 4s that when we had the class restriction was probably the best that the group queue ever was. Right before they switched it to add the 12s.
Real quick interruption here, complete non sequitur, and we can return in a second. The 3 of you in the game here, does this time zone seem easy on this map? Like when you start in the day? Or is it just...
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Almost. Okay. Yes. The time affects the haze.
Okay, I think that's cool. Okay, sorry. Returning.
New target acquired.
By the way, I love that map.
Yeah, it's a huge...
My new favorite.
The original version.
I have
one hotel, King Creme.
some crazy battles on it.
Target
one of my first
acquired.
matches was on Conquest, and we actually...
Target destroyed.
Right now we're sort of fighting
New
where
target
under
acquired.
this arch area, but one of the first matches I had on it, we fought in that open forest area over in Gulf 8 Fox 8, and it was absolutely amazing. Completely different experience because of the way the cover works and the way that the underbrush is. It's not like in
You
a very
can
broad
flank and maneuver and
yeah.
as a cicada pilot, I was...
New target
The engagement
acquired.
zone is
Yeah.
no longer
Base
4
is
grids,
being
is
captured.
basically what it is.
Oh,
Somebody's on base. We have a light on us.
I'm in a Yenlo. I can get back to it.
It's a Stormcrow.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm engaging right now.
Gross ammo at 25%.
Now, you also mentioned game modes, Sean, and I'm actually... Whoops, sorry about
you've got
that, teammate. And this was something I actually brought up. It's not an original idea,
New
but I think it would
target
be cool.
acquired.
Especially
Target
if we end up
destroyed.
having a Steam release, I think it would be more new player friendly. Because right now we have a system of respawn in the game,
Airstrike online.
and my idea was
New
essentially
target
something.
acquired.
I mean, it's been a while since I've played like Call of
Target
Duty, but
destroyed.
domination games in that mode
New
are.
target acquired.
I mean, it's completely like you don't get to outkill the enemy team; you have to outcap them. And something like that, I
Heat
think, would
level
be.
critical.
I mean, in my
Target
opinion,
destroyed.
new player friendly because
Gauss
right
ammo
now
depleted.
a game mode sort of.
Heat level critical.
Sorry. I mean, it's very unforgiving. Like you have one life and then you're gone until the next match.
Target acquired.
And if we have the infinite respawns, it would allow for more, I guess,
target destroyed.
for more
target acquired.
familiarity to grow with the game. If you get what I'm saying there.
I've talked about game modes in the past, and I think the reality of it is we have to say something like respawns. I'm of the opinion gameplay, I can forget lore as long as it's fun and enjoyable, but I think one thing you have to be very, very understanding of is this is a free-to-play
Enemy base is being captured.
15-minute matches, and the whole system sort of revolves around that. And I don't think it would be crazy to say, what if instead of respawn, you looked at
Target
respawn a little bit
acquired.
differently, like Community Warfare, where
Enemy base
maybe you
is
still had a
being
15-minute
captured.
match, but you were able to bring in 1 or 2 mechs or 3 mechs or something, or 4 from like a dropship, just like how we have in Community Warfare. But I think we just have to be very understanding of
Heat level
this is a
critical.
free-to-play title, and
Yeah. Well, my original idea was just you get the one mech and you respawn it as many times as needed, but something like that I think would be cool. But mostly because of those new players that are going to be dropping in one match and never
Yeah.
be dying soon. And they're like, well, what do I do now? Well, now you're just SOL. You're stuck waiting until that match is gone.
yeah,
So-
and that's where I think that I just don't think it fits MWO, the free-to-play title. I've tossed around the idea. And Time to Kill is about to take a big hit. I mean, it's about to go up, with this rebalance, and you guys will be able to see it on, the PTS and what is about to happen to the game and the changes. And I can't go into details, but I can tell you as a player, this is the biggest gameplay change we've seen to date. It's going to flip the game on its head. I think as a vet player, and even looking at what a lot of the concerns of the community have been, of where I've seen a few threads on this whole BV thing on Reddit and MWO forums, where a lot of people have been thinking so linear in their thoughts of, and a comment, and I was even quoted from the podcast of saying, oh, well, no more absurd quirks on the gridiron, no more 50%.
I think I saw this one, yeah.
Yeah, and someone just instantly jumped to, well, I guess all these mechs are dead. Well, I think that's a very ignorant statement to make. Two,
Yeah.
in the current system, if you nerf those 4 or 5 mechs, yeah, in the current system. But we're not talking about the current system. And I think if and when people see the differences on PTS, where a mech isn't just about its hard points, guys, it's about its torso yaw rate, its torso yaw angle, pitch speed, excel, de-excel, turn rate. It's about the protection, structure, armor. It's about infotech. Now infotech, there's some stuff changing. Russ has sort of hinted at it and dropped a few things on Twitter, and Paul's even mentioned, and they talked about sensor range and stuff like that. There's even more stuff to that, modules. And when you look at the current game, yeah, if you just nerf just one mech, yeah, but that's not how this whole thing's going on. And I think a lot of people will see how big of an undertaking it is, because if you don't even give it that credit, I think you just need to take a step back. But I think that's going to play in, not to sort of this goes back to the game modes where dying instantly, or something where you're you still could potentially die instantly. What's shooting at you, and if you
Well,
run out in the open or whatever, that still could potentially happen. But things are gonna change a bit.
I think that'll. Yeah, I was thinking more just along lines of new players specifically, because I mean the balance change isn't going to affect them as much as it would like you, me, Kage, Sans, or Ghost.
No.
We've been
new
players. Here, we know.
Like real new players, I think that's where, last time we were on with Russ on the town hall, he mentioned could new players be put in their own queue where it's only 4x4 or 2-on-2 or something, or 3-on-3. At the end of the day, you can only hold a player's hand for so long before they have to jump out on the nest, and the whole PSR and tier system. In all honesty, I don't think it's going to be an EP issue in this community, but I think some people it's a tough pill to swallow. When they get put into their little box, even though Elo had its own box per se, like you're at this skill level, right? Some people that's a hard pill to swallow, right?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Right.
But,
I mean, I think the issue is you're absolutely right. The game. I'm not asking for the game to be super accessible. BattleTech is MechWarrior Online in particular is never going to be like an accessible shooter compared to something like Call of Duty, right? Much more is going on the player's side of things. So there's going to be a learning curve, but I think there's a difference between having a steep learning curve and kicking a player off of a cliff.
Yeah,
Which is
well,
more or less what MWO does right now.
All I have to
It's
say is
pretty
EVE
brutal.
Online.
well,
Yeah.
Well,
I
plus
would even
if
say
we do this,
MWO.
going back to the hypothetical, whether or not it's going to happen ever, this response system, so talking to some players, it's one of the issues I have with the game is that it's very much so different version of Team Deathmatch. Whether or not, like, yeah, you'll have games that are different, but for the most part, it's different version of Team Deathmatch. This would be a really quick and it's a system already in the game essentially. It'd be a really quick and easy way to make it so that it's actually about going through conquest and capturing the points instead of just wiping out the enemy team.
Airstrike
I can sum up
online.
the issue MWO is having, like its big roadblock issue right now, pretty succinctly. At least I feel. I've got friends, quite a few of them, who I would love to
You
play this
have
game
friends.
with, who
Get out.
Yes, I am a
Don't
popular
lie,
guy.
Sans, you don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
friends.
No,
I'll be
I'm
your
well
friend,
liked.
Sans,
You
but I
shut
already
your
play
mouth.
this game, so.
Anyway, I'm talking about like people I know in person, like co-workers and people I've known for years, who I would love to get to play this game and would love to play with me, but the learning curve is so steep that it is actually just not fun for them to play the game at all, even at the entry level. And that's a problem. It keeps the game from drawing in new people, and it keeps them from retaining people who have just come into the game and have played it for like a week or so and decided, well, this is not fun, I just lose constantly. And
You gotta get you by
they
yourself.
hang it up. I think that PSR has done a good job of helping to fix that to a certain degree, but I don't think that the problem is gone.
Yeah, but and again, this is just me as a player. The granted, tutorial system is being worked on, and that'll be a big, boon and to everything. And new players, especially new players, reduced, group size and walking them as best you can. But at the end of the day,
Target
it comes down
acquired.
to an individual's want and need. The one of the biggest drawbacks to MechWarrior Online is that it's MechWarrior Online,
New
based on
target
BattleTech.
acquired.
I mean, that's
Right.
it's
Online.
always going to be a niche game. Anybody
Right,
that says
absolutely.
otherwise, just it's that's how it is. And niche,
Delta
what does
CT.
that mean? Niche, does that mean hundreds of thousands of people?
New
Yeah,
target
I think
acquired.
that's a fair assumption. Niche, as far as is it going to be, only like 5,000? No,
Online.
niche is a relative number to what you feel is acceptable. I mean, at the end of the day, if you have a few 100,000 people playing, I don't know, what that's at. But my point being is, that's pretty damn
New
successful,
target
depending on the
acquired.
size of the developer, and are they okay with that? I mean, sort of like EVE, they know they're not going to have, millions upon millions of people, and it's
Airstrike
not.
online.
They're not shooting for that. But the skill level difference is
DT
pretty-
Alpha.
pretty wide, and I think that's
Target
because
destroyed.
Bravo.
Airstrike online.
I think it's also
Our
because
team's
of
being too timid.
the inherent systems,
BT Echo.
you know,
New target
players
acquired.
knowing all the little nuances and how to abuse and ride the line on things like Ghost Heat. They know, you know, what builds and with the perfect amount of, you know, energy to heat DPS and volley and blah blah blah.
New
That's just
target
inherent
acquired.
sort of. That's always going to happen no matter what systems. The problem is some of these underlying systems have a very drastic, you know,
Target
skill tree.
destroyed.
Right torso
Yeah.
hotel.
Those are pretty wonky. You
BT
do
hotel.
you do have sorry, I'm just watching. Currently, one of the issues on IS side and some of the clans, but mainly on IS, is quirks. You know, especially when it's just weapon, where it's just it leads to more time to kill issues. So there are things that inherently I feel like the rebalance is going to help the new players, even though they may not know it. You know, so and some of the other nuances of if you take
Target acquired.
take the clan heavies. Some
Right.
lorist is going to try to argue with me, but I'll put him in his place of saying, well, the Timberwolf is
New
supposed to be
target
fast.
acquired.
Its top speed is, but the tabletop or any translation never had to worry about Excel, DXL, torso yaw rate, turn speed.
New
Should it
target
be as quick
acquired.
as a summoner or a Hellbringer or a Mad Dog? And the question
Left
is,
torso,
well,
critical
depending
damage.
on right now is depends on the omnipods and the min-max. Well, right now there is no
New target
positive or
acquired.
negatives, and that's one of the things that's changing
New
with the
target
rebalance
acquired.
systems, to where
Target
you know, people are
destroyed.
fearing the Timberwolf and these mechs are getting nerfed, and more often than not, they're getting buffs, just not certain omnipods, or they're getting buffed in ways that you don't really know right now. As far as, and I think people will start to see like, oh, well, I can actually take other omnipods if you min max. Well, you know, that's up to you. You know, but it's still going to be lethal. That's not changing. The mechs, you know, the direwolf is still going to be a
Walking death machine.
and that's what it's supposed to be, and that doesn't change. What you do though is you look at what omnipods, and you know, this is a kicker here, is the omnipods are what make these mechs really powerful. Yes, the Indo Pharaoh and all that, and Clan XL, yes, and that's factored in as well. But it's the fact of there is no trade-off to the Shadowcat left torso. Someone was like, oh, well, there's 3 ballistic on. No, that isn't a trade-off. The Arctic Cheetah, in that one left torso, the Hellbringer Prime left torso, there is no alternative realistically to these other torsos as far as the left torso. So that's where you have to target those. And then what happens to the other torsos? They're getting buffs, a lot of buffs, you know. So legs are going to matter. Cockpit head assemblies are going to matter now. You can pick and choose what you want to do, and it's really exciting. And I don't know how I got off on this tangent, but
I was just getting ready to
Don't
say,
mind us, keep going.
Phil,
Tell
your,
us
your
more.
wife's not going to kill us,
no.
is she? That we've kind of pulled you away for this long.
no, she's already asleep.
Oh, good. In that case, might as well just hop in the game.
He's passive. It's-
So, I know Russ stated earlier, I think it was either today or late yesterday, I mean, that will also depend on where you are in the world, but it was basically said that earlier, sometime this week, we'll be getting a September roadmap. And I saw a lot of people were essentially assuming, whether it's true or not, that something about the this rebalance will be within this. Are you able to say anything to the negative or the positive on that, or
Hold on. So what was the exact question?
will we be hearing more about the rebalance soon? Essentially,
Yes.
like this week soon, or can you not say that?
I don't know when exactly. That's not my.
Okay, so we don't have an official date.
But
Holy
Reactors
shit,
online.
it's Jaeger.
Sensors
it's
online.
Not far
Weapons
off.
Online. All systems nominal.
Sounds
I'm excited
Why is
Going
it?
for Jaeger.
because it's been like almost a month since any kind of major like changes to the game.
Oh, that's what you're talking
Not
about. Sorry.
like
Yeah.
not counting the PSR. When we, I guess you count the PSR, things are starting to kind of pick up again. feel like the
Sorry,
game
no,
was in a bit of a lull for a little while, and
misunderstood.
it seems to be picking up
I-
out of it.
I can guarantee you when this rebalance
Target
hits,
acquired.
there's going to be people coming out. Like, and
There'll be a
Building
shitstorm.
acquired.
yeah, well, I guarantee people are going to be coming back that stepped away or.
I guess that's
Man.
going to be a given. I guess my only, and I'm going to be optimistic about this, but there's always a chance that they come and then not stay, and that's going to happen no matter what. But I'm just hoping that the vast majority of them come back and then stay.
This system basically addresses,
Airstrike online.
and this is one thing that I've been able to sort of, hound on is what are the issues with the game, and just being open about them, and saying, time to kill is an issue. Well, what leads to time to kill?
Target
What
acquired.
leads to chassis diversity? What leads to chassis? I would say, what's the opposite of
Airstrike
diversity?
activated.
Sort of stagnation, where you only have a select view. And I've been able to, help and give feedback a lot on those, to where, again, going back to, the clan mechs offer a little bit different issue. And by the way, it's like 7 times the amount of information you have to collect on clan mechs compared to IS.
Oh, I imagine.
They're behind us already.
It's
I'm not-
a
New
I'm going to
target
say that it's an
acquired.
easy job at all.
yeah, and so there's multiple things here. That,
Holy cow,
again,
that's a Dragon Slayer.
It's
I've
a
not seen in
victor.
a long time.
me as
It's
a
a
player,
new target
I'm looking forward
acquired.
to.
Yeah, it is.
So.
They're pushing that left side pretty hard.
I'm actually really
Force
excited
was on
because
India.
some of the
New
stuff
target
Me too.
hasn't
acquired.
even been announced and or talked about, and you guys get to so there's some things that haven't even been talked about that are going to be coming your guys' way, and I
Ouch.
think it's going to surprise a lot of
New
people.
target acquired.
Awesome.
Role
I'm in a bad
warfare
spot.
is, like
New
I said,
target
role warfare is one
acquired.
of those things where the rebounds can only do so much. At the end of the day, some
Right.
of the game modes have to factor in here, and that's where, we've people
Incoming
complained
missile.
about
Left
being.
torso
Dude,
critical
I have
damage.
people complain right now
Right
about not
arm
having turrets,
destroyed.
and if you guys are some of those guys,
Warning, incoming missile.
Get
Oh,
that
no.
UAV down before it kills us.
and
I don't
it's
miss
like,
the turrets at all.
so
Not on
yeah,
assault anyway.
all turrets did on assault
New
was
target
buff the
acquired.
Defender.
the defender or
More
well,
passive players.
it promoted the firepower and time to kill issues, and someone's like, no, it prevented cap. Turrets weren't put in for capping. It was
New target
turrets were put in because
acquired.
it sounds cool, and what's the best
Yeah,
way,
exactly.
and it destroyed the ability to cap. And
New target
Yeah, it did.
how many
acquired.
times have I played and I'll be pinging the enemy players. They're on the left side. They're coming right down. And what does our
Lost
entire team do?
ammo
Go right,
destroyed.
and then they sit there and they
Left
complain
arm
and bitch
destroyed.
that we just lost.
Medium
And it's
laser
like
destroyed.
that's
Cross
the type of
rifle
behavior where you're
destroyed.
just like, really. So yeah.
So, is that, and I'm just spitballing this here. Because, you're right, a lot of
Target
times the turrets did help in that they, they gave you that information warfare, and that, oh, by the way, your base is getting rushed.
Yeah, but it killed
Is
any.
this some, oh yeah, but is this something where we could see like sensor towers around the base?
Yeah, I mean, on all honesty, I think that's where, Paul and the other designers and stuff have to. I mean, one, they've talked about the new game mode that's going to be replacing Assault, right? So they've sort of hinted. They haven't really given a whole lot of details. But at the end of the day, what can you do that's dynamic and it doesn't add to DPS? Like, I think there is a place for turrets. I just don't think it was how it was. Like, for instance, if you take the new Forest Colony and actually, take a step back. So what you would have to try to do is that, because MWO is about mech combat and it does that really well, is at the heart is, do you want your forces splitting up? In the current state of the game, no. Albeit with the rebalance, still you have to incentivize game modes that basically say it is worth having your lights and mediums, and or maybe one heavy go off and help and do these things, or go and do these. I wouldn't even say capture points. I would say objectives, because it might revolve around being like a cap point where you have sensor towers pop up, or you know, hey, if you go out for that thing, it'll pop up and you'll have autocannon turrets and stuff, and it'll create like what can you do outside? Can you have it so it capture points and walls go up or down or close off certain areas, or
Well,
you know, so
I think
there
basically
are
what
other things.
Return to, and I don't mean to summarize this too poorly, but we're going back to like the game is essentially one massive team deathmatch with different flavors. And I agree with you. From what I understand, you're basically saying we need to change that, whether it's through objective play and whatever. But as long as the most effective strategy is to simply kill the other 12 guys, then that's probably not going to change.
Well, and that's why I was sort of getting on you guys about community warfare, where right now I agree that community warfare is all about, you know, well, depending on attack or defend or whatever. But my argument would be is, if information or information warfare isn't a key component and necessary to win, then it's completely non-existent to some extent. So
I agree with that.
That's what the rebalance is going to be changing. Now, even on community warfare, and this is where I feel like once the rebalance comes in here, then I would make game mode changes, because this isn't changing. It's a big fundamental building block, and I think once people will see it, they'll understand what the implications are, and then you make the changes. So okay, so this is how you're going about with the information warfare and infotech, and sort of the direction of how you want mech combat to be. How can we build a game mode around how that plays out? And then even community warfare changes need to happen as well. But at the heart of it, you know, that's the nature of is.
Well, even still with like current game modes, the danger is, yes, right now we don't have much role warfare, and say that, and actually don't mean to sound skeptical here, because I actually do believe that it'll probably end up solidifying itself, this role warfare with the new rebalance. But is this role warfare going to essentially, basically, it's not so much scouting for information warfare, it's that basically scouting in order to make killing the other guys go faster?
No, and I can't go into details, but at the heart of it is it's be able to have information so that it makes it easier to make decisions, not necessarily always to put, you know, just damage on target, but obviously that's something. Like I said, you'll have to sort of see it. The toughest thing is how do you make a Locust 1v be able to participate other than just firepower?
Easy. Capture the flag.
Reactor online.
And
Sensors online.
and so and that's the same thing is now someone could argue, well, it's a 20-ton Locust. Yes, but it will be doing things better than other light mechs. And when you start looking at that, so what you're basically saying is, well, then you could take the firepower of like an Ember or something. Yeah, you could take that. But that Locust 1v is going to be zippier, it's going to have better information warfare capabilities. But there's only so much you can do, and that's the difference. Is what you're trying to do is you're trying to give as many options to the wide, everybody that plays. Min-maxing is still going to happen, and I would even go so far as there even the comp side of things and the higher level play,
Target acquired.
because of comms, because of organization, because of being able to coordinate, you'll be able to sort of still compensate for the lack of having. I mean, you sort of do it right now. I mean, if they're under ECM, you can still, hey, they're over here, or hey, they're left, right, center, blah blah blah. Hey, I hit that. His left horse is open. You may not even have a lock on, but you sort of know, so you can still sort of compensate. But those 35 tonners.
Can we get a UAV check over Echo 2?
those 35 tonners aren't going to be performing at the same level they do right now. But I don't say that as far as they're all getting nerfs. I'm just saying that the Locust or Commando or whatever in general will have more buffs. I guess you could look at it almost like that. So. And 35 tonners, fire starters and generators are the real culprits here. You know, IS side, the Panther and Raven. If you remove all weapon quirks, I gotta emphasize that. If you removed all quirks currently, like all the weapon quirks, Ravens go back to their place, and Panthers were here. But you can sort of summarize where. So those are the underperforming. If you were just to look at them in a stock bare bones form, it would be okay. Panthers, Ravens, and then Generators and fire starters would be on top again. So,
well, to be fair, the Firestarter never really left the top after quirks hit.
Yeah, and you know I've said this before.
New target acquired.
Weapon and weapon quirks.
Right arm critical
It's a very thin line to where all you're basically doing is obviously power creep, but also
destroyed. Medium laser destroyed.
You're artificially buffing things, and when you do that, then it's almost required everywhere, and then you got this sort of stack pulling of issues. You know, where you can make a mech, a fire starter, feel a lot different than another one just based off its maneuverability, let alone all the other attributes you can mess with. So.
Artillery strike online. Left arm critical damage.
Well, we got steamrolled on that one.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
I blame Sans.
Yeah.
That's the first one you've lost since I've been watching.
Yeah, it's like our third loss
all
tonight.
time.
Left
All
arm
night.
critical damage. Right arm.
Yeah, I think another thing that people miss when they talk about a mech like the Locust saying, oh, it's just a 20 tonner, it shouldn't, you know, it should kind of be useless, is that people need to remember that this is a video game, and mechs like the Locust are some of the first mechs that pilots who have just come to the game are going to be getting because they are cheap. They need to be useful, or else people are going to feel cheated, and that's going to make them want to stop playing.
Well, and that sort of goes to the whole, you know, weapon stuff. You can't, like, if you have a mech with 7 energy hardpoints, like, or for example, if you have a Hunchback 4G, 2 identical, and the other one's the GI or whatever, and as soon as you buff one in that department, it negates the other one as far as fire potential. Now, yes, you could do other attributes to make that other one compensate, sure. But I guess my point being is, then you look at other chassis and/or variants outside the Hunchback, then you see this overlapping problem that just happens over and over again, where you know, same hardpoint combination, maybe even similar location styles, and you've got one that's a clear winner every single time. Oh, and it also has jump jets, you know, and so you can't expect a Locust. Now, a Locust 1E, a 3M, and a Pirate's Bane are pretty deadly for their being 20 tons. Like, they're not equal to the other Locust, and that's one of the things the BV system, or I say BV system, mech value, whatever the fuck you want to call it, does. You know, I think people have latched onto that, but so, you know, yeah, I'm looking forward to you guys seeing it on PTS. I'm looking forward to streaming PTS for, you know, however long the PTS will be up, a week or two. So
Yeah, I'm excited.
Right?
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to that.
I want to try it out.
I'm gonna
I
toss
hope it makes the
this.
changes you're saying it will, man.
I think it's gonna go on PTS. I don't know, maybe and you guys and everyone is gonna be like, this is how the game should have been from the start.
See, here's the
I
thing,
have
though.
a feeling like that's what people are gonna say is, we want this up on production as soon as possible. That's what I'm predicting.
And I'm predicting a massive community backlash, but what I hope is that PGI weathers it out, because I think if it makes the changes you're suggesting it's going to make to the game, that it will be for the better, and I hope they weather it out and keep it. But we'll see.
definitely
I
something
think-
to look forward to, and I think that they're going in the right direction. I mean, ever since they separated from the other company, the one that shall not be named,
Yeah.
I think that they've made a lot of steps in the right direction. They've taken some time to refocus themselves. We know that not a whole lot has happened over the past couple months, aside from a few little things here and there. But don't let. I'm hoping that people don't get dissuaded or disenchanted with the game during this time. I think that it's in a heavy sit or state of changing,
Reactor online.
more or less. And
Sensors
also, I
online.
definitely would like to say I
Weapons
appreciate you
online.
coming on for us, Phil, tonight, and
All
helping us
systems
out with the
nominal.
concerns that we had voiced earlier. I know some of our viewers were a little confused about that, some of us as well. And you always go a long way and try to help explaining and giving the viewpoint that PGI, I think, as a whole has, along with some of NGNG. So we definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's tough because, like, all there is speculation if you have no solid info, but I can also respect being on the other side of it, where sometimes you do have to just keep it closed, mouth and tight lip about it. And I know it sucks on both because I've been on both ends of it. But me as a player, I do think you're right. I do think there's some people that are going to be
Target acquired.
but I think ultimately they have to adapt as well and realize like the things that are changing are needed. Like this isn't
Airstrike online.
time to kill being so low needs to be addressed. That isn't just a made up thing. Diversity between mechs, diversity between omnipods, fixing some, inherently strong. Like as soon as you see a Hellbringer and doesn't have ACM, you go, what the fuck? Like that's,
There's
It's true.
absolutely no reason not to take that.
But
torso.
that's-
It is the best left torso.
and that's a problem, and that's what I'm saying is like it shouldn't be that way. You should
Airstrike
say,
Yeah.
online.
okay, if they took that left torso, hey, I'll be able, I can flank that mech a little bit quicker because it can't track, or its info, info tech stuff is weaker, or this or that. I mean, it's there are some
New target
clear
acquired.
disadvantages in clan, and
Airstrike
for the most part,
online.
I think a lot of people would be, I don't know about surprised, but
New target acquired.
some of the most underused mechs were clans.
Oh,
I mean, and they
absolutely.
still are.
There's
acquired.
Yeah.
clan mechs that just should not see the battlefield right now.
Yeah.
Like, as far as our light
The
mechs go,
ice
if it's
box.
not yeah, okay. The ice box, the ice bear just should not see the field.
Yeah.
Neither should the
Target
kid fox or the
destroyed.
adder right now. Like, the
But-
Arcane Cheetah just
but
outclasses some
target
foes.
acquired.
There's no reason to take an
Airstrike
Ice Bear Shadow
online.
Cat when you compare it to the Storm. Like in its current,
That's
dude,
exactly
the
it,
Stormcrow
yeah.
is
New
like
target
stupid absurd
acquired.
because it's got this gigantic
Airstrike
engine,
activated.
right? It's goes 106. It's got
New
amazing
target
hard points,
acquired.
and then on top
That-
of that, the location of the hard points are amazing. And then on two, because of
New
how
target
the
acquired.
underlying systems are, as far as the skill tree and what those effects and stuff, you have a
New
mech
target
that is literally
acquired.
more agile than
Everything.
35-ton IS mech. So
Yeah.
now you
New
have no
target
play, and
acquired.
because of the current, sensor
Killing.
range is all the same and stuff like that. Then you run into
Yeah.
the problem of the Shadowcat and
level
Ice Bear literally
critical.
can't do anything that the Stormcrow just does so much better. Like,
Yeah,
and,
and
but
as
that's
much as-
100%.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, as much as I
New
love the
target
Shadowcat, it's
acquired.
not doing much for its own good either right now.
Well, I will
Heat
say
level
that
critical.
the left torso dual large pulse is stupid amazing.
Left arm critical
Yeah, I was having a
damage.
blast in that. But
Gauss
my point being
rifle
is,
destroyed.
the Ice Bear needs
Gauss
to.
ammo
Is it ever going to
destroyed.
be able to compete firepower
Left
with the
arm
Stormcrow?
destroyed.
No,
No,
but- and it
nor
shouldn't.
should it.
Heat level
But that's the
critical.
thing is, like, that's one of the problems with the current system is it's
New
expected
target
to.
acquired.
And when everybody just looks
Heat
at
level
weapon
critical.
quirks and that's the determining
Target
factor,
destroyed.
it's very short-sighted. But also some of the
XL
base
Atlas,
systems
no.
have
New
to
target
change. Sensor ranges, obviously, you guys have heard. But I'm just going to toss out this. I mean, if you haven't really thought about it, what happens to the game when not all mechs are created equal sensor range? So you may have a target in front of you 500 meters away and you can't lock onto. Or what happens when there's mechs that have inherently high and or low base target decay? What would that change? And start playing through that where Maybe a very underperforming mech has
as far as
4
the
or 5
target decay
seconds.
thing goes, it's not actually valid so long as you have something like radar deprivation
No,
in the game.
think about this. You have a mech that has 5 or 6 seconds target decay, throws out advanced target. Now they got 7.5, and you take radar dep. That don't mean shit, son.
True story.
And now radar depth wouldn't be the end all be all situation that it is, right? And now
That'd
you
be
may
nice.
say, well, maybe you say, hey, my sensors aren't as long, and I really want those lock-ons to get in for, I want to take the sensor module, which no one takes right now. But do you see what I'm saying? Like,
Wait,
and
there's a
that's just-
sensor module?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's two things. That's target decay and radar range. That's only 2 things that we've just metaphorically, sort of, okay, yeah, theory craft in here. What they would just change in the
okay.
current.
I mean,
So theoretically, that's nice, but as a person who has played at a competitive level, not like at the top of it, but I have played comp before, if I see a target that's 350 meters away
Yep.
and I'm not getting a lock on it, I know what to look for to shoot it anyway. If
Yeah,
it's
but
smoking in a
that's-
spot,
that's-
it'll come
that's
off.
not gonna-
If I don't have
that's-
anything,
that's
I'm
not
gonna
gonna
shoot it with
change.
CT.
Yeah,
It
that's not
does
gonna
change things
though.
in extreme range engagements, though. Someone with a lock and long range weapons is going to be able to avoid
Yes,
taking return
my
damage in
point being is,
in an exchange
it's
much
not
easier.
going to change the fact of high skilled players
Yeah, absolutely.
and that's what I was talking about, the whole coordination and organization. You'll be able to sort of still, that's still going to happen. So you may not want to take that locust or whatever spider or whatever. You still may want to take that Raven 3L or that whatever Jenner or whatever, just because you're okay with not having that info gathering or info tech or whatever. Those are the type of things that's just the inherent nature of that's never going away.
and the comp setting is always going to react a lot differently from these quirks and changes and whatnot, etc., than the rest of the community. So it's always good to remember that the niche community that we already have, the comp side of it, is even ridiculously smaller. So things are probably going to be a lot different in CW and pub drops, and then comp is going to change, maybe slightly, maybe drastically, maybe in a direction that no one's really expecting. Just pointing out what you were just talking about, I mean, something that's got super long range sensor ability or something like that could still be an advantage in a comp setting, but not in the way that you would use it so much in CW or pub. So it's something to not cast aside lightly, that it will be useful. These changes that they are implementing, they can have a lot of repercussions, or being good or bad, that we might not even see yet. But and then obviously the comp setting will take it even differently further from that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like you can only realistically do so much with the rebalance of mechs, and that's where I was again going to fall back on. That's where game modes ultimately, like, the game modes are the only way you can make a locust from you drop and your presence. You have a locust versus like a fire starter, not versus each other, but like versus as far as their performance in a game and objective base, and that's the only way you can do it and make that locust outshine that fire starter, is giving it other opportunities, giving it other outlooks to be able to go out there and do, where it's not just about firepower, because it can't compete, it won't compete, and you shouldn't expect that locust to compete. It should be able to compete in other areas where the fire starters really weaken. And as soon as you start thinking like that, I mean, obviously that's where game modes just have to step up and be altered and adjusted and made. So I know I've heard a lot of people always say you balance games off of comp side. I get what they're saying, but I also look at comp players will adjust no matter what. You'll have comp players like Jaeger said he thought time to kill was fine. That doesn't mean it is. That's just his opinion, and you have other comp players that are like, no, it's ridiculously low. Well, and at the heart of it, you just have to say, where does the designers feel about time to kill? And it's the same thing like that. It's listening to for me,
Reactor
being a higher level
online.
player and
Sensors
talking to a lot of the
online.
comp players,
Weapons
it's
online.
what you do. You listen. Okay, why are they
All
taking that
systems
many
nominal.
on the Timberwolf? Okay, yeah. So they're just getting around the ghost heat and upping their heat capacity and heat dissipation by taking 18 double heat sinks on a Timberwolf. And why is it causing so many issues? Oh, well, skill tree is one of the problems there. The fact of 2 crit heat sinks. I mean, when you factor in all these things, then they just stack on. That's what you do, in my opinion, is you have a foot in the door with the higher level players, and you understand what they're doing in the game, and are they breaking anything, and then adjusting it or fixing from there.
Right.
But you don't cater.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't make things just because.
And there is something to be said for shaking up the balance every once in a while.
Airstrike
You don't want to
online.
let the game become stagnant. Things do need to change in order to keep people interested.
Well, we were even talking about that last week. Granted, we were talking
Target acquired.
sort of not the right exact talking points, but we were talking about how certain MOBAs
New
like
target acquired.
their gameplay changes just as their balance changes. That's what that allows for a lot of retention in those. So there is something to say that, yeah, like you just said, balance is, when it's not standing, can be really interesting.
Airstrike activated.
Well, I'll also toss out this is like, let's just say this rebalance comes out, and at the heart, we all know what the best setup on the Hunchback 4G is. Like, just inherent, okay. Has the Hunchback 4G setup really changed? It changed to some extent for some people about how much ammo to take, but other than that, it's pretty much been the go-to. And I guess the end product to here is that
Target acquired.
Got some stuff in the tunnel.
the problem lies is not necessarily that the balance in the mechs change necessarily. It's that when you add multiple chassis and variants that are very similar, or is there another medium that has the exact same hard points but just the physical geometry is just better than the 4G?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Well,
that,
I mean, I was even looking on Smurfy earlier today, just messing around, and I've never played Quick Draws before except for maybe a trial once, and I noticed that 2 of them basically are the same thing, except one has an extra missile hard point, or something like that.
Yeah. Look
So-
at the stalkers and the battle masters. Oh my fucking god, dude! There's a stalker.
Yeah,
the 5M. The only difference is it has 2 AMS,
Any in the open? Never mind, I was gone.
and that does Now, to be fair, I think it would have been maybe a good precedent back in the day to say we only are going to do max of 4 variants per chassis.
New target acquired.
And the Hunchback is a great example of creating very different. The 4H and 4G are
New
pretty
target
close,
acquired.
but they play completely different. But you literally have some Mechs fire starters. There are
New target
way too many
acquired.
variants that are very, very similar. It would have been better to say, can we
BT on
find,
Golf. BT on. Oh, you got him.
New target acquired.
Our decoy has died.
You should tell me what to do.
Okay,
Damn
Oh
it!
my god, and Sans too?
Where's the Sans?
He's right up there. He's right up on top.
He's golf. He's the yeah.
Lima CT. Oh, he's
Damn
gone.
it! I was gunning for him. I was a shot away from killing.
New target acquired.
I let myself get greedy. Alright, well, it sounds like
New
maybe
target
the
acquired.
conversation is petering out
Target
here.
destroyed.
Yes?
I think
No?
we basically
New target
talked
acquired.
about it as much as we could talk about. I'm at a loss for words on what else to add.
Target
It was,
acquired.
well, I'm glad we got to talk about it. It was a pretty cool topic. And cool enough to make us go over an
Target
hour.
acquired.
Yeah.
Target destroyed. New target acquired.
Yeah, so it's something to get excited about. Bring some,
New target.
Yeah, I
refresh the
acquired.
game a little bit, change the
Target
balance
really
up.
looking. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this public test because just so looking forward to it.
So that was pretty funny. Am I the only one that thinks so?
What?
That we had a streamer battle just now, and we decoyed that Hokage was the one that was streaming for us,
Oh.
and we killed the other
Target
streamer.
acquired. Glass ammo at 25%.
Suicidal Locust is best strategy.
Target destroyed.
Actually, it's because I've been too busy focusing on listening.
You never saw it coming.
Can't pilot a Locust without focus.
Well, I think we're about done then for tonight.
Yeah, appreciate you
Now that
guys
we've
letting
run
me take over.
Yeah.
Oh no, man! It definitely it's a given, man. We like to get some outside discussion coming in as often as you guys please. I'm sure people get
Yes,
tired
yes,
of hearing us after a while, you know,
Right.
every night. So some fresh perspectives and viewpoints is always extremely helpful. And as always, I appreciate everyone that has managed to tune in with us tonight. The consistent viewership is very helpful. Subscribers and followers are needed and wanted, so please pass on the word. And again, thanks a lot for Sean Lang or Phil from NGNG and PGI, and we look forward to see him again and the rest of you as well. So hope that you enjoyed tonight, and look forward to seeing you again next Monday for the next news hour and a half that could possibly be a lot longer if Phil or Darren show up, which is every Monday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. In addition to that, Nox and Snook every Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. It's good discussions there as well. And our open group nights, everyone is invited. Saturday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern. Just go ahead and pop on at those times, and we can have some good times, some shenanigans, and everything else that comes on the TheBearNet pretty regularly. So, hope you guys check it out, and hope that you enjoyed the show. So, this has been
Don't forget
TheBearNet.
to hit that follow button if you're new,
That's right.
and check us out
Subscribe.
on YouTube. I would go with the link, but it's all UGEC and random numbers, so
There's
go
the
to
link.
YouTube and find us. Thank you, Odd Majo. It's UGEC X. No, forget this. Go to YouTube and search TheBearNet, and like and subscribe us so we can change the name to YouTube TheBearNet.
Please do it. Do it. Have a good night.
Good night.